Hello, everybody. Dan Man Walking here, 55 here, coming in at a really weird, interesting time today because, I had a free day today. Wearing my good old Dallas Cowboys shirt that a good friend gave me from a Super Bowl, uh, the 1992 one in Pasadena, where Leon Lett got stripped on the thing that actually helped me out financially with some little fun activities there, right, Sin? But we're not a site that promotes the gambling and this stuff like that. But hey, anyway, you all guys are great today. This is a completely random stream. Like I've said before, sometimes I get a call from somebody out of the blue. Hey, let's go stream. Sure, why not? You know, why not do it? Um, so we will do that. We are doing it with and this guy's kind of controlling the topics that we start off with. He's going to end up controlling the flow of where we go with this. And I'll just kind of be here to kind of moderate and kind of chime in and relay some experiences and stuff. So you all know him, of course, I think at 3:50 in the afternoon. A lot of you might be like at work and stuff, but hey, if not, we'll see who all shows up. But and I'm on a timeline with the missus. So, hey, we got stuff to do. It's a great Hungry Boy. Hey, Hungry.
Hello, my bison buddy.
Good to see you today. Good to hear you. You sound nice and strong today. Howdy, Buddy
Oh,
Hepburn. Hey,
hello,
buddy.
Hello.
Hello. So yeah, you're all piss and vinegar today. You're kind of like, oh, good. You're ready to go. Kind of cool.
Well, it's kind of like MST3K. You got highs, you got lows.
Oh boy, do I have a funny story that I've told a few times already to share with you when we talk about that stuff.
But, well, it's interesting because we look at how the missus is building her channel and how you've been building your channel, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
So you guys are at what could be referred to as the beginning of the great phase of MST3K. Right. So you've been working out the bumps. You've been testing the shocks on the car that you just bought, and you're seeing how it travels down the road, and you're picking up some speed, but you're not hitting a point where somebody with a light on their car and a badge on their chest is going to pull you over. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what happened with MST3K. And for people who will, hello lemon pie, hello citrus,
yo lemon pie. Hey.
The thing, so people who don't know, that stands for Mystery Science Theater 3000. That's what MST3K stands for, and that was a term that was actually created by the fans of the show. And the show that most people remember is when it first came on Comedy Central, and this is going so far back.
It was late 80s, early 90s, I think.
88.
Yes, okay.
That's when it first came on, and it was called the Comedy Channel back then, not Comedy Central.
Right.
But it was for a year going on before that locally in the Minnesota era, because it's a Minnesota show. Most people don't realize that. And so in 87 is when it really, really actually began. And the guy who started it is a guy called Joel Hodgson, who was a prop comedian for the most part, and also a stage magician. And he wanted to do something with that. So he thought, well, why don't we simply try to get a show going? And he talked to the local TV people in Minnesota where he was. And they said, well, maybe if you work in talking about some of these movies we still have the rights to. So he came up with this little pilot that was only about 45 minutes long because it was based on a Jerry Anderson thing. And the Jerry Anderson people are the people that came up with UFO, which is, the favorite show of Clobby's best friend, and also Space 1999, and also Thunderbirds, which is one of Mark with D, his favorite shows. And so he started ripping that with a couple of puppets, with a couple of pals, and they thought, okay, this is good enough to pursue. And it started out quietly, but by the time they got to about the third episode, they started actually getting fan letters, and they didn't even ask for fan letters at that point. The fan letters just started coming in.
Right.
And so they'd really, to their mind, they'd hit on a magic formula, and it was magic for that first year in Minnesota. But the thing is that it spread out wider. People started, and this is a phrase that they came up with, circulating the tapes. People
Right.
would record them on VHS.
Right, because back then that was a technology, the VHS, and I do remember because they were big about that Minnesota address. It was like kind of the middle of nowhere, Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know, you had a history of Hollywood studios, big production studios, all this other stuff, and then
Right.
all of a sudden, hey, there's a little stuff out of an independent station, or actually, I don't know if it's a station, but it's out of somewhere in Minnesota. It's like, where the hell
Yeah.
is this place? And you know, it really was a word of mouth fandom that really started up and went from there. So it's like,
Did you circulate the tapes? Did you ever circulate the tapes?
no, because I didn't have enough people to circulate the tapes with, though. So
I actually introduced them to Australia. I was one of the well, no, I wasn't the first person. I was one of the first like 10 people. And I actually, at one point in the 90s, I packed a suitcase full of, I must have had 25 VHS tapes.
Yeah.
In one suitcase and brought them back to Australia. And boy, trying to explain that to the people at customs, oh boy, that was a comedy moment in and of itself.
Oh, I bet.
But the interesting thing is that there are two things that happen with MST3K, which then split off into I can't remember what the original version of Riff Tracks is, but it was like Men on Film or something, and that didn't work out well, and they changed it to Riff Tracks. And
No, you know why? No, because all I think of when I hear that is like Girls on Film, not that's just And I'm talking about the good old Duran Duran song. We got 8 people here with us right now. We only have 2 commenting, so we must have a few lurkers and stuff out there. So I just want to say, because I do, if we need to go back, we can redress the history at the start. I know we're kind of on a limited time scale because I'm subject to helping the missus.
That's why I was rushing, and I apologize for that. But we might only be 45 minutes today.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah. So Buddy says he doesn't really like MST3K, rather watch the movies, even when bad, without them commenting. And I understand that. And like
a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I'm not who Svengoolie is, but I'm not sure
Svengoolie is a comedic, and there's been like 3 because the original Svengoolie is no longer with us. But that happens, I mean, 10 years after Cassandra Peterson dies, there's going to be another Elvira. Know that's going to be the case. Right.
Well, the thing is, this gets me to the point that I was wondering. See, Lemon Pie was a fan of MST3K, but I tell you, but here's where I fall. I like the older when it was Joel Hodgson stuck up there. I did not like Mike Nelson as the
secondary host.
As the secondary host. Oh yeah, the Mrs. is lurking. Yay.
Hey, Mrs. has said she likes MST3K or some of them as well. So
now, see, but I like Joel as the leader. I did not. The voices that could change with the other side characters. Okay. But I did not like Mike Nelson on the Satellite Love. I did not like him as much. And I've not even tried to watch this new stuff that they've brought out. But to illustrate your point, Buddy likes Svengoolie more than MST3K. But I think you have to evaluate MST3K between MST3K, what it was originally, what it is now, and what Riff Tracks has branched off into.
And also Cinematic Titanic, which
I've not heard that one before.
Oh, I'll have to share those with you. They're very good. There were only 12 episodes.
But Riff Tracks takes Kevin Murphy,
Bill Corbett,
and Mike Nelson. Now, see, I like Mike Nelson in the Riff Tracks setting with these other 2 guys.
Right.
It's weird, but I didn't like him in the other. Say maybe it's because Joel was the lead. I don't know why, but to me, the Riff Tracks works better with them like that than with him in the show. So, everybody can have an opinion on this. I mean, like Lemon Pie even said he agreed that the older ones are better. So.
Yeah. And there was the recent kerfuffle, which was an accidental kerfuffle when a certain person who is follically challenged on a certain big channel, and I think you know who I mean, started a Twitter feed, right? Yeah. Going, oh, the show's gone woke because the lead has been replaced by a woman, meaning Emily, who's one of the new hosts. But that's actually not true. And I'm not coming down on the bald guy. I'm not coming down on him. Okay. But I just want to state that there are actually two hosts. Jonah was the host after Mike, okay, a guy called Jonah,
Right.
and Emily is a secondary host, and they alternate, but Jonah actually has more episodes. So it's an equality thing versus a gender replacement thing. So that's an important thing to bear in mind. She's not replacing, and actually she's a lot funnier than Jonah, in my opinion, because she doesn't have, because she's an actual puppeteer, and she's used to working with an audience and responding and doing the back and forth. Whereas Jonah's more of a semi-successful stage comedian who wrote for online magazines and became friends with people in the nerdosphere.
Right.
And his timing up until recently has been terrible. Up until recently.
But some people just can't deliver it, and it's just, some cases, but it depends on the setting, what they're doing, See, not everybody can be as good as me and great as me is always funny in every situation playing the room, but thank you, Hungry. I got a good laugh. I could just imagine the missus now, at least if you don't hear a big flump in the other room, that means she didn't fall out.
Or the invisible sound of rolling eyes.
Oh, yes.
But I understand completely. I mean, I there were times when Mike was, because he was the head writer in the room before he actually became the lead on screen. And so his voice was in some of the dark jokes that were happening even when Joel was still the host. And Joel had a problem with the producer, Jim Fallon. He's the guy who did the original voice of Gypsy, who was the third robot who didn't say much and apparently had a lower IQ than Crow or Tom Servo.
We love Gypsy.
Oh, Gypsy was great. But I mean, the thing is that technically speaking, and in terms of science, Gypsy had a very high IQ. They just saved those jokes for later, And when the show, but when they thought there was no chance of going big, getting an international audience or getting a movie, then they thought we can just do the jokes we want the way we want. And that's what led to it being better, much better. So I understand that Joel aspect, but with Mike, I also understand how some people have a more cynical, dark sense of humor, and that's the kind of things that they like.
Yeah, I know. And see, Buddy had mentioned that Svengoolie does the bits after the scenes before and after the commercial breaks versus being in the movie playing. Yes, I'm not quite sure how that. So they don't talk over the movie; they just wait. Well, how do you keep track of the jokes then if you're not talking over or with the movie? That's weird, but I guess I don't quite understand how that would work.
If you go back and look at some of the old Elvira stuff on YouTube, you'll understand, because Svengoolie, the original Svengoolie, came before Elvira, right? And then the second and third Svengoolie came after Elvira. So like Svengoolie became almost you could call it a character franchise like Doctor Who in a way, or James Bond, quite frankly. You have different actors take over the role when it's necessary. And but the thing with MST3K was they just decided to change the actual character and recognize that the comedy was always more important than the skits that they would have in between. The skits were to fill in time. And a lot of people don't realize that.
I'm one of those people that love the skits. I could sometimes skip through the movie. I like the skits. That's where I really liked the things where they showed the comedy. It's like Beavis and Butthead. I'd skip through Beavis and Butthead to get to the actual cartoon parts. The talking of the videos were not. I don't know. It just I always struggle with sitting there watching them. I guess because the action and the screen and the movie is what I start watching, not the comedians.
No, that's really interesting because I agree. I agree with your second point, but I don't agree with the first point.
Well, hold on 1 second, and we'll let's go into those. But hello to Small Time Republics.
Hello.
Joe Bob Briggs is also a good movie host.
I love Joe Bob Briggs.
Who's
Actually,
that?
I was reading him as a teenager because you could get San Francisco newspapers in Sydney back in the 80s. You just had to know where to go to find them. And yeah, Joe Bob Briggs Drive-In Theater Review was in newspapers in the 80s. And then that became popular enough that he got a show on AMC, and then that became popular enough that after that got shit canned. Oh, pardon my language. He ended up on TNT with Monster Vision. And he's got a show on Shudder right now. He thought he was gonna be shut down, but actually no, they've renewed him. He's gonna be on in 2024.
Wow,
So
that's cool.
Joe Bob Briggs, and he's an actual Texan who moved to I think it was Arkansas, and then moved to other places, and now he's back in Texas. His real name is John Bloom. His real name is John Bloom.
Okay.
And he is fantastic, but he also is someone who talks in the middle, like in the scene breaks between. They have scene breaks, even though Shudder doesn't have commercials. Hello, Jeremy.
Hey,
Hi, Russia.
hey, there you go, Jeremy. Good to see you today. Hey,
how many viewers we got at the moment?
It says 6, but we've had 8 likes already, so we've had people come through and come in.
I told you.
It was up to about 8 or 9 at one point for a second or two. So
the magic of YouTube, dude. The magic of YouTube. But see, the thing was, they started really. I keep saying, but the thing is, I apologize for that. It started out super small, and then it went to very small, and then it just was small. And as long as the show was small in terms of the amount of budget that went into it, everything was fine, because that means you rely on the jokes, just like the missus and I were talking about on her show, Doctor Who. When the budget was small, you had to rely on the dialogue, and when a comedy show, the budget is small, you rely on the jokes. Whereas when you get some big money on a revisionist version of it, or maybe not revisionist, maybe not retcon, maybe I don't know what the word is, but in the Netflix version, you had a woman who was really big on YouTube, who then went on to a gaming show, Felicia Day, and you had Patton Oswalt, who people either love or hate, depending on their politics, and they shouldn't. They should just look at his comedy. I just think he's not funny anymore. I think he's old and he's tired, and his first wife died, and I think that takes a lot out of you.
yeah,
And I don't give a rat's ass about his politics, but you have a situation where if you have enough money go at something, then suddenly people, whether consciously or subconsciously, they start sliding because, oh, look, it's more snazzy, you know? And that's happened, as you have said, on occasion with Star Wars. Oh, look at all the money thrown at it. Well, now we don't have to act properly or write a script properly.
Yeah. Well, I think there's interesting, and folks, like we said, this is really an impromptu stream today, so we're probably going to be unorganized and bouncing all front, back, all over the place. But one of the things that I noticed, and I understand, we talk about how they split into different groups. I was only aware of Riff Tracks doing live shows, but apparently MST3K and Joel Hodgson still does his own live tour, live events.
Yes, they
actually came by our place once, but we did not get to go for that. You know, it's more of a theatrical performance than, I think. I guess because they had it at a theater. I think, not necessarily like simulcast. Because you know how like Riff Tracks has it in that one Belcourt theater usually, and then they span out through the city. You know, this was at least like a tour.
Yes,
like
they do. They've done many tours. You remember? You're old enough to remember this, so you probably didn't go. Do you remember Muppets on Ice?
Yes, I didn't go, but I remember it.
Right. So it's like Muppets on Ice without the ice.
Okay.
And a lot of it is more of the skits and less of the movies, and some of them have actually, according to what I've seen, some of it's been purely the skits. And that I'll be honest, I have no interest in. I never had the skits. I would watch after I watched everything else, and I had to wait a week for the next episode.
Yeah, I know. I see. I always loved the skits. That was the part, and I was disappointed there were not more skits because I wanted more entertainment. Because, like I said, I get bored, and a lot of times it played on Saturday. So, and honestly, I was into football too. You know.
Well, that was a problem.
And that was like that. My draw was going to be back to the Gators or anything else that, was football. Even though I loved MST3K, it just, I needed that instant action, get to the point type thing. Like I said, even with Beavis and Butthead, forget the 4-minute video. I'm skipping to the cartoon part. I mean, just give me the whole cartoon of Beavis Butthead. I'm happy. But
yeah, but there was that one time with Beavis and Butthead where, oh my God, I can't remember. It's the Canadian gal,
Daria.
No. It was an actual singer. Oh God, she did Jagged Little Pill.
And Alanis Morissette.
Oh yes, they were making fun of Alanis Morissette, and that was pretty hilarious, I will say. But aside from that, I agree with you. With Beavis and Butthead, I go straight to the cartoon. But sometimes there were skits that really did help, but for the most part, the skits felt like community theater, where the comedy, when they were crapping on the films, felt like one step below Johnny Carson. And so it was just a matter of how much professionalism goes into what portion of the program. And a lot of people can write without being able to perform. This is actually something that, I mean, I don't support the guy, but Woody Allen at one point realized he was a much better comedy writer than he was a performer. And that's why he became a television comedy writer. And that's also a large aspect of MST3K and Riff Tracks, except with Riff Tracks, you get used to the voices and you don't need to see the silhouettes of the robot and the host. You don't need them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. And where I was going with the difference of the tours, see, they all cater to different people. I think to different audiences. Like I said, I like Joel Hodgson better as the TV show host, but Mike Nelson actually is not bad for what Riff Tracks is doing.
Yeah. And also he's really good live.
Okay, give me one. Yeah, you keep talking. Give me a second. But you go ahead and keep talking.
Well, folks, all I'm going to say is this might be a shorter stream than we anticipated. This might be less than 45 minutes. But, buddy, I hear exactly what you're saying. And I understand completely. I've had a lot of friends who I introduced them to MST3K, and they said, this is just like being at a theater with a chatty friend where I can't hear the dialogue. And I do understand that, buddy. I absolutely do. But as we say in Australia, it's horses for courses, Yeah. Do they say that in the United States?
No. What's that phrase again?
Horses for courses. Do they say that there?
They might, but I've not heard it much. So.
Okay.
So, but see, the thing is, they're scripted. I think MST3, the Riff Tracks have gone to more of a script in the live theater because they have their notes there. Although they will ad lib at times, they will go off the script sometimes. So, So Buddy says some of it is off the top head comment reaction humor, and then there's trying to be funny humor. The latter is harder. Yeah, trying to be funny is.
Yes.
That's a big thing for Buddy. Listen, you sound like Mrs. Dadman walking. No, I am always funny. When I try to be funny, I am funny. No matter what anybody says, I am funny. She loves telling me, Dadman, quit trying to be funny. You're funnier when you don't try to be than when you try to be funny.
I know.
But Buddy said his grandpa used to say it. So that, they have.
Oh, but, cool, buddy. Thank you for that.
Where I was going to go with that is it was interesting to see because, we had a chance to see MST3K. We didn't. It was a bit more expensive. It was like a concert. Whereas you go to Riff Tracks, it's like paying a movie price. You go in, you see the simulcast, and it's live there. And weird things happen even in the live cast anytime you go live. And that's what I love about it, because it is after anything could go wrong live in a live stream. Now, I could sit here and I don't know, just whatever. Just anything could happen. You see me booming like crazy on stuff, and weird things happen, and things in the middle of game streams and all, and it just and that's the thing. Comedians, they can play off of it and have a lot of laughs with it, and things could go good funny, then they could go wrong funny, or they can just go wrong, and that's kind of where I like is that they have their script, but they're willing to modify and go with the flow. Let me say hello to Castle, who's coming in. Dad, man, after this morning's comment in the Mrs. Chat. Yes, I did. I survived.
Yeah, I saw that.
She graciously allowed me to survive, so I appreciate it. Good to see you, Castle. So, I see, and that's the thing is, that's like how I do my streams here. It's like, when I first started auditing, when I went into
Mm,
meetings, I was very formulaic. I'd
mm.
almost write a script, do A, B, all this stuff. I, some of the advice I got was to be conversational, let it flow. I know one time when I had Purple Valkyrie on, she said with these things, just talk like you're having a conversation with friends, because I do think you can over plan and you can become so rigid. You
Yes.
can miss stuff that happens and pops in your mind. And so that's kind of why I've kind of like used the force is what I say around here, is just, go with what happens. And we got to set a general stream. Now, unlike yesterday, when
Yeah.
we talked about Pearl Harbor, I had a set of pictures. I had a very not scripted, but I had a set of points and tone with that.
Mm.
But like on a stream like today, it's sit back, relax, because if you try to script something like this, you're going to miss stuff. And see, and Buddy said that a movie with talkers is pretty much it, like a comic has heckler detracting from the show.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, I half, not entirely, I half disagree, buddy, but I understand your point of view completely. And I mean, there are like, almost every episode of MST3K is on YouTube right now. Although the people Shout Factory who own the rights to the old episodes, they're shutting a lot of those down.
Mm-hmm.
But you always have people who go there because they see the title of the show and the title of the movie that MST3K is making fun of,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to watch the movie and they don't know what the hell MST3K is.
Mm-hmm.
They think that MST3K is the name of the channel, like other channels that will show a movie, have a break in the middle, talk about the movie, show the second half of the movie, then at the end talk about the rest of the movie. And they don't get it. And some people politely explain, and some people, well, they're not that polite when they explain. I always explain politely.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about the scripted comedy is really interesting that you bring up that, because the original voice of Tom Servo was one of the original Mad Scientists. There's always a duo of Mad Scientists.
Mm-hmm.
And except when Pearl Forrester, who was one of the main writers, Mary Jo Pell, she got her own role. But in the first you had Josh L. Weinstein as the younger Mad Scientist, and
Mm-hmm.
you had Trace Beaulieu, who plays Clayton Forrester, the guy with the mustache and the ponytail and the glasses. And at that point, in the first year before they moved to Comedy Central, when they were just in Minnesota, it was all impromptu. That's why you have these huge gaps before there's a joke or a comment about the film. And then when it started getting scripted, Josh, who was only 17 at the beginning and 18 when he left the show, said, well, no, I don't want to be working off scripted comedy. I want to tell my own jokes. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I don't want to write those jokes out beforehand. And so he left the show. And so one of the puppeteers, Kevin, actually had to take over the role of Tom Servo. And they had a little skit about adjusting Tom Servo's voice.
Right. Okay. Well, Max Redstone's here.
Hey, Max.
It's a party. So we'll see what happens. You think it's his dad's hematologist. Oh,
that's
my
a good
goodness.
one. That's actually a joke that Josh himself would make, Max. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Max.
We got 7 people here. Make sure we're only on the YouTube side today. So bring some people in. Let's get that 520 subscriber today. Let's do that before our celebration tomorrow night. But hey, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, I think I'm going to finally try to finish the point I was going to with this one earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I've gone off the wagon too, is because we took like the talking over. See, back to that is I can deal with the talking over the movie because I'm not there to completely watch the movie. I want the comedy.
Yeah.
I do find myself getting involved in the short or the movie too, but I want that joke tying into the scene and stuff like that. Those are things that I like. And like I was saying earlier, things can go wrong. You can find new jokes off the fly. That's why I think the perfect blend is to have your script kind of where you want to go with it, but being good enough to impromptu. Like the Miss says, when I don't try, sometimes you throw it out there, it works. Sometimes you don't, But if you try to script it too much, you can't. like one of the memories I had with Riff Tracks was Starship Troopers.
Right.
That was one of the first ones of theirs that I saw in the theater. Loved it to death. You know what they did during the big famous shower scene?
Mm.
You know the shower scene in Starship Troopers,
yeah.
right?
No, I'm just waiting for you to make the joke, man.
I can't believe that people said stuff about Dina Meyer on that negatively. I'm like, that was a fine woman to me. But anyway,
really? They said that?
There was we talked. I think Apney or somebody told me there was things, and it's like I'm like, how does I just anyway? You know how people are. You know how people are. But the whole thing is, we sat there. I'm sitting there thinking, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do this? They got a theater full of people there, and all of us out here. How are they going to do that? Guess what they did? They delivered a gorillagram, big balloons and all this stuff, marching across the stage and shielding it and keeping it. I'm sure the people there in the theater saw a little bit, but between the gorillagram closing up, covering most of the screen, and the camera angles shifting to the gorilla, the balloons, and the guys, they managed to not broadcast it.
Right.
So it was like a cool scene. They did it, and
But to back you up, this is like impromptu stuff, because it just occurred to me, Dina Meyer is like Michelle Pfeiffer with curves. If you know what I mean. That's still PG. That's still PG-13.
No,
that's still PG-13.
I don't worry about PG-13. We're good. We're having a good discussion. Well, I will tell you, they have done good things, and I tell you, I love the MST3K as a TV show, but I tell you honestly, I hope that they come back through town and I'll see what the live show wants to see what it's like, because Riff Tracks only does they've only since 2020, because of all the shutdowns, they've only really just started getting back into it and have not done many. And I know the first one I think back was really lame. They didn't really have as much crowd. It just there's something to me about that live studio audience reaction. Look at our 70s and 80s, early 80s TV shows. Filmed before a live TV studio audience.
All in the family, dude. All in the family.
That laughter that's not orchestrated or set to a cue tape makes a huge difference in the effect of the comedy. And that's why I think, I don't know that I'd like the concert as much. I don't know about that, but the TV show, I can lose my focus. I get bored and wanting to see other things. But the live thing in the studio where that's my focus, I love the experience. And also, see, when you're on stage, it actually brings out something in you, because you are, whether you want to or not, having that connection with other human beings and seeing their faces and being observant of their body language, and that will guide you to a different comedic moment, a comedic instinct. And Max knows exactly what I'm talking about. Where you can come up with a joke in a live stream that you won't come up with when you're actually scripting your own YouTube video, which is not going to be live. It's just going to be seen. And that's why you look at, just to back you up, I love Cinematic Titanic, and that's where you had original members of MST3K before some went their own way. And I mean, there's actually a third group that split off from MST3K called the Mads, meaning the Mads are back. And that's just Frank Conniff, who played TV's Frank, and Trace Beaulieu, who played Dr. Clayton Forrester. And so they just do their own thing together. And then in Riff Tracks, you have a subset of Riff Tracks, which are just Bridget Jones, who is now Bridget Nelson Jones, who is married to Mike Nelson, and Mary Jo Pell. And Mary Jo Pell was a writer from very, very early on in the show. And you have this variety of comedic cadence, so to speak. And Max will know what I mean, because he writes limericks for Star Trek 735 Club. And hold on, I just got to check the private chat. Oh, wait, hold on. What? Oh. No, I don't know about that. But there's Weinstein Brothers. That's a liquor store. Weinstein Sisters, an AA meeting. Weinstein Jabrowski, and last year's board of directors for the Polish National Alliance. So hey, Max Redstone coming in.
That's a Bill Corbett joke right there, Max. That's
No.
definitely Bill Corbett. that ain't Joel. That's Bill.
Yes.
Oh, but also, I mean, that could also be a little bit Frank Conniff. A little bit Frank Conniff, but
Yeah.
you know they do their shows as well. And then with Cinematic Titanic, you had Joel, you had Josh, after Josh had really grown up and been through the grind and written for a lot of stuff in sitcom laugh track television. And you had Frank, you had Trace, and you had Mary Jo. And so it was like the five musketeers instead of the four or the three. And some of that's some of the best comedy I've ever seen. Riff comedy, any comedy. Now, some of it's the worst comedy I ever saw when they were finding their feet. But by the time they were doing like the live stuff, this is backing you up. Their live stuff is actually funnier than the stuff they do without the audience. You still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to. I got a lot. Wait, you say the lives? You mean like
Cinematic Titanic did about 4 live shows, and then the rest of them were just filmed.
Oh, the live was better than the film thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. I misunderstood. I don't know what I was thinking.
I probably didn't phrase it properly. That's fine.
I don't know. It's just I'm trying to. I heard something wrong. My screen went and glitched. So hey, you know. So and then Max says there was Weinstein's. It was a gift shop that sold in tankards of wine. Franzia box wine shut them down. So
see, that pisses me off about YouTube. When I'm hearing it, I can't hear myself glitch. I don't know when I'm glitching.
No, it was StreamYard. It's my screen did something kind of weird with that.
Oh.
So it's all good. We're good today. But hey, we still got 7 people watching us right now. Get the word out. We got 10 likes now. Thank you, everybody coming through hot. We're having fun talking about RiffTrax, MST3K, those type of things. Because I tell you, I think you gotta. There's an art and a science to it. You've got to have talent. You got to have timing. You got to be able to read your audience. There was one movie, and it was one of the ones after the 2020 shutdowns, one of the first ones they did back. The missus and I nearly fell asleep in it. I mean, we're like,
sorry, that's funny.
No, it was. Poor guys, they were good. It was so disappointing. But it was like, the movie had to really, really suck for them to not be able to. It just was so bad. It was.
What was the movie? You can tell me in the private chat if you want to.
I can tell you. I'll look it up. But see, then they did The Room at one point. But
that was great.
We did not get to see them do The Room though. That was a disappointment. That was a disappointment to us. That we didn't get to see that one. I mean, my oldest kid told me about The Room for years. Of course, my kids told me everything about stuff over the years because it's like, hell, what the hell do I know? I mean, let's play Cards Against Humanity, and I'm like, damn, I'm old. So.
Oh my God, I would love to see a 30, because sometimes RiffTrax will do like a 20-minute short, and so will the Mads. I would love to see them doing a riff on a 20-minute documentary on people playing Cards Against Humanity. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. There is actually a clip. There is actually a game. I mean, that I think I've seen streamers do it once, where you could actually MST3K like a game stream, like there's this Jackbox thing.
Yeah.
That would be something kind of funny to try to do.
Sometime. There's actually there's a formal RiffTrax game, a formal one that you can buy. And Klobby's friend, I think he's another Mike. I mean, so many Mikes in the creative field, but he's the guy who's heavily into Indiana Jones, etc. He's done that on his show a couple of times. But that's where you really see, and this is no offense to him because his jokes were good, but some of the people he had on, well, you take what you can get. The thing is that the people who have actually grown up, and I think Max understands this as well. The thing with people who have grown up with face-to-face stuff, in terms of making a joke when a joke is needed to remove tension or just to keep the conversation going, they are people who are a lot better at the riff comedy than people who have simply grown up staring at a screen, and their most of their interactions or half of their interactions have been on screen since the time of Facebook.
Right.
You know?
Yep. I'm looking back through the history of because what's so great about their live events, they play a lot of music and they have their little stills beforehand, the comedy and stuff. Weird Al, they use a lot of Weird Al songs in it.
Oh yeah.
But the first Riff Tracks live show was August 20th of 2009. Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Then that was a good one. That was a good one, but they've had to adjust that because, as we know, and I'm not going to need to explain this to your
have
audience,
they been? Am I this damn
changed.
old? But I been this damn old? No, Jay, no. I'm about to say this. Buddy was probably in diapers back then. I'm like, the first one I saw was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 8th one, Starship Troopers. That was August 15th of 2013. That's 10 years ago. God, it felt just like the other day.
I know, dude. There was something. I mean,
and then Anaconda was late the next year, and that was a great one they did. Oh my God, that was. Then they did The Room in 2015. Santa Claus. I remember taking the kids to all these.
2015, 8 years ago. 8 years ago.
The Riff Tracks MS23KU reunion show was in 2016.
Yeah. And that was where Jonah failed.
God,
sorry,
old.
Jonah. Jonah, you failed.
Then a Great Space Mutiny, yes. In
yes.
Reuse of Battlestar Galactica footage. Crawl. Oh my God, that just seems like me and the kids watch it. Oh God, I'm old.
Yeah, but I see. Here's the difference between us.
They went up They went out as a Giant Spider Invasion 2019. That
was great.
Then the whatever you want to call it thing that caused a 2-year hiatus. The first one was Hobgoblins. I think that's the one we saw. Because there's Amity 4, The Evil Escapes, and then Return of Swamp Thing. I don't think it was that. I think it was Hobgoblins. It was the first one back. It was a 1988 American low-budget independent comedy. And I believe that's the one we watched first, the first one that came back.
Well, that was done on MST3K first. So was Giant Spider Invasion. So was Space Mutiny. But see, a lot of these films are either very cheap to acquire or are free.
Yeah.
And that's why you will have one riff company do it, and then you'll have another riff company do it, and then now you've got MST3K redoing some of the stuff that the first MST3K group did. Because it's not about the politics, it's about the money, honey. And you can have different people doing different jokes about the same movie, and then you have the Mads are back and they're doing the same movies that were done before on MST3K, and it's good because you have the same movie giving 3 times the amount of pleasure and enjoyment, and I think that's wonderful. And riff comedy really allows for that, where other forms of comedy do not. What are you laughing at, bro?
Philip Glassman tried to produce a biopic of his second mother-in-law called Krull the Conqueror, Part 2.
Sorry.
Krull. We got Krull. Well, they did Krull also in here. So
yeah. Well, this actually brings up a question, because it seems that you and I have a slight difference in not in opinion, but aesthetic. Because I'm a lot more like Frank and Trace, where I like seeing the older, cheesier black and white movies being ripped apart, and you seem to like the more modern ones being ripped apart.
Yes, exactly. Kevin and Frank, Kevin and Bill, I think. Yeah, exactly. I like the ones I grew up with. I like the ones more modern. The older ones, see, they did the Return of the Living Dead once, and it was pretty good. It was okay, but hell, I mean, there's something about color, like Santa and Ice Cream Bunny.
Yeah.
The bunny. Oh God, the demonic bunny.
That bunny.
Then they did 2 of Sharknadoes, and I think the second one is the one that had the spokesman from Subway.
Yeah.
And I love the line when it came through the subway and then took them all out. I say, "Oh, come on! What did it Subway or even some affiliated spokesman ever do to anybody?" And it was like, "Oh my God, what a line!"
That was great. That was great. That's a modern movie I like, but see, it's cheap and nasty like the ones from the 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going back to the, go ahead.
Miami Connection was another one they did.
What? Oh, that,
Miami
yes.
Connection.
Oh, yes. That was Oh, I love that one. I love that one. But see, I also really, really love the old Roger Corman ones.
Oh, God, no, this brings back something. This one had all the innuendo you could ever hope for.
Yeah.
And I wish there was a way to have gotten it. And I'm using Wikipedia. I don't care. Look right here. Miami Connection, October 1, 2015. Measuring Man.
Yeah.
There was every type of innuendo with that guy's yardstick, ruler, and tools. And that they just kept taking it to there and leaving it in your imagination.
Yep.
Then she's happy, and I just like, God, it was like, oh.
But
so,
yeah,
this was
one of the things that caused the rift. But this is one of the few times a rift is good, because it's led to, if you include Cinematic Titanic, which is never coming back, no matter what anyone says, because of the way, certain people are towards other people in the rift right now. Yeah. The thing is, you have at least 3, possibly 4 new groups that are equally good as each other, and they're all providing new material. And rift comedy is a kind of comedy that you just don't get anywhere else. You can't do that as a 1-person or even 2-person stand-up act. It's not possible. You need to have the movie. You need to have at least 3 people.
I think even just doing it personally, like when we sit around, like if a few of us sit around and watch something together, all of us together make comments. It's like I've been on watching. I was over at Lorena Creole's watching her as a member a watch party about Ahsoka, and I said that way for a reason. We all fed off of each other. It was like one big giant riff tracks. Everybody coming up with a joke, throwing it out there, and it was just like gold, and it's like the more you have, more. It's one case where the more chefs you have, the better. It's not messing up the kitchen.
Well, no. I have to disagree there, because if you get more than 5 people, if you get to like 6 to 8 people, then everyone starts competing, and then nobody can hear the jokes that other people are saying.
Well, I guess so, but
the show on YouTube I'm talking about.
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah, well,
that's why you laugh.
Yeah, I know. Well, I meant when we're just friends. I mean, when we're friends screwing around, it's different. But I know, but I know what you're saying, and that's true. That's why I don't watch certain things anymore, because God, I get a headache. It's hard enough. It's hard enough running with 4 people in Fortnite sometimes. When then we wait till you get 8 of them.
God.
Love it though, but gotta love it. Hey,
well, but that's also a part of this stoush. I don't know if that's a British word. I know it's an Australian word. It's like more than an argument and less than a fight, if you know what I mean. Where and this happens with Star Trek and a whole bunch of Marvel stuff all the time, where a lot of people are now saying the current MST3K is not funny, and therefore when they went for their own private version of crowdfunding instead of Kickstarter, they did not get the amount that they were asking for. But the thing is, Joel was asking for $4 million for only 8 episodes. Whereas with 1/10 of that, they created an entire season back when they were small and lean. They had a small, lean team. And they had people who knew the old movies. They had people who knew the old television shows. They had people who knew the old comedians, and they could throw out jokes for people who were over 45, and then they could throw out jokes that a 10-year-old would laugh at. And it was this beautiful, beautiful balance. But if you have people who only know stuff that exists after Instagram began, they're not going to be able to make those jokes. And the only people who are going to laugh at them are other people who only know things from Instagram onwards.
Yeah, no, I got you. Definitely got you.
It's kind of like Twitch versus us.
You know what I just realized? I realized I had not put this link out to the other than Twitter, but in our groups, I did not put it, and I did not put it in where Mr. Angel could see it yet.
Oh,
So
dag nabbit, he's a fan. Put
that's
it
what
out there.
I'm trying to
Okay,
get
you
that
do
right
that.
now.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get. I need another coffee. I'll be right back. It's. I mean, it's not even 9 o'clock here yet. Dear God, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, Castle. I'll get your comment in just a second. That is a good. I love the impromptu self MST3K type things. It's really really cool when you do it. On your own. Some of those can be the greatest ones. I mean, the Miss and I have talked. Not to disturb people in a theater, but when we start talking in a movie theater, it's kind of bad. I think it was Mrs. I don't remember if you hear me. I don't remember. Was it Ant-Man or what was it that we started talking about? Talking the last Ant-Man movie or something. We started laughing about various things that we were seeing going on. It was almost like we were riffing it while we were there. So, but yeah, it's always cool when you can do that yourself. Hold on a second, I got to add a message. So, but yeah, those are cool. I could imagine if you're drunk too, it makes it even better. But hey, I just even just with your buddies hanging out. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Have fun with it. I know that the missus and I have talked about movies before live, and I actually had one in yeah, hold on. So anyway, all right. Oh wow, that's interesting. Let me see. I got to let's see. Wait, that
I'm back.
I know I'm messing up. I need you to talk for a minute. I'm not doing good with
okay.
this. Yeah.
Hello, Snorty, my dear polar bear. Hello. So, Snorty, are you a fan of MST3K or Riff Tracks or Cinematic Titanics or The Mads Are Back? Please tell us, Snorty. Please tell us if their comedy is as juicy to you as seal flesh. And Castle, okay. We did it at my buddy's house. Chairs around the TV and everything. That's good to hear, Castle. That's very good to hear. And it's important because it actually helps promote being able to come up with comedy off the cuff with something that you're looking at or something someone else has said actually encourages the growth of certain parts of the brain that you would not necessarily expect to. And
I'll tell you what's kind of thrown me off of whack real quick is that I'm doing this as we're live. I'm used to just the still picture being there, but it's showing us talking live. That's what's so funny. Sorry about that. So, all right, I'm almost done. Go ahead, finish up. Sorry about that.
No. But there are people that you would not expect to love the riff comedy who actually do love the riff comedy. Like with Mark, obviously you would expect that Mark loves the riff comedy, but you would not expect that their mutual friend and one of Clobby's oldest friends, Claude Parish, would love the riff comedy, and he does. But I mean, with Max, you'd sit there and go, "Oh my God, Max! Obviously, Max!
I know.
God."
Well, I'll go back and we'll catch up. Castle said this about the chairs around the TV and everything. Yeah. Well, I try that in a real theater because the missus and I, like I said, we do it. And I wish you remember which movie it was, but it was Ant-Man, or we were talking about it, comparing it to Cocaine Bear, how the CGI was better in Cocaine Bear than that. And we were just ripping it apart. Like, this is stupid. There was another one, I think, after Ant-Man that was even dumber. And it wasn't Marvel's. I'm telling you. Marvel's was not bad compared to some of the other crap that's come out this year. And I'm going to share a story or two about some in-theater experiences that we've had. But to that point, let me say hello to Snortopoopas, definitely to him. Good to see you, Snortopoopas. Back to the thing about, I almost retracts myself in Solo. I did. My kid and her friend were looking at me because I was like, the scene, Mr. Half-assed Sith Apprentice just popping up out of nowhere.
Half-ass, literally speaking.
There, looking there. And I'm like, out loud. I'm like, oh dear God, not this guy. This crap. This is stupid. Now, my daughter and her friend were laughing at me at first, but I kept going to finally my kid was starting to punch me like, Dad, you got to be quiet. I'm like, why? There's nobody in this friggin' theater. There's
Was
like
that
two
Ang?
people. No,
Was that
it
Ang
was, it was
punching
the
you?
older kid. It was the
Oh,
older kid.
okay.
And it was like, there's only like 3 people, maybe a couple behind us and a couple in front of us. And I'm like, who the heck cares? There's nobody here. And I'm like, I just was like, damn it, Mark. I mean, it just,
Damn it, Mark.
And I knew that bastard was around in, not Mark, but that bastard was still in the universe. I did not expect to see him in the middle of the Solo movie.
Okay.
I mean,
So this
oh my
is,
God, you had Jabba the Hutt running around the galaxy, even though it was in Tatooine, and Darth Maul's this big crime lord that everybody's friggin' afraid of. It's just, ugh.
but see, this
hate
brings up
those-
something that you said earlier about the live shows and impromptu questions. I mean, this is something I could imagine the Riff Tracks guys asking. All right. Or the Mads suddenly, like somebody saying, stop the movie for a second. Okay. Is that his actual skin pigmentation or has he painted himself?
Yeah.
The horns are obviously coming out of his head, but is that pigmentation or did he paint himself? Because if he's painting himself like that, how does he have the time to do what the Sith Lord demands him to do?
Dude, the fact I'm lost at the fact that he even, I mean, he did something major powerful Sith Lords never were able to do, which was live forever. So
oh, Max, no, don't say that, Max. Poor Richard Mall.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Hey,
say
look
that,
at this one
no.
Hey,
Oh.
now get it together, man. Get yourself together. You either got a pair of mechanical spider legs.
That's a dad man joke, and that actually goes back to MS3TK, where sometimes they'll throw in a dad man joke, and we don't, obviously you're watching it like it's not scripted. You're watching it like their characters saying this stuff, and then the other characters will groan, and this goes back to Joel being the favorite of a lot of people, and Joel would say, "Okay, honey, no more of those jokes."
Well, see, I'm not quick thinking like a lot of people. I get some good singers in from time to time. But, if I had to assemble a crowd to do something like this, 2 people I'd definitely pick are AFK Bard and Castle. They are so quick on their feet just for puns. Oh, man, it's amazing. So, and there are others I know, but hey, especially I could just imagine what that time was sitting around the fire with the chairs around the TV about that. But, getting with friends, and Miss and I've done it. There have been movies that,
Oh no, I can roll with that.
Darth Martin.
No, I can roll with that. I remember seeing Hot Tub in the movie theater when it came out. Max, you remember Hot Tub with Martin Mull. And
Martin Mull. No, Martin Mull, Jingle All the Way. Radio station announcer.
You're such a new movies guy, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, I gotta find one more Christmas movie to make my top 5. I will not include Die Hard because Daisy and I are talking Die Hard on the 20th.
It's not a Christmas movie.
We're going to talk.
A Christmas
one
movie.
of the questions we're going to address that night is it a Christmas movie or not?
So no, it's not.
You're passionate. Some people say it is.
I know, and
I'm
they're
going
right.
to come out passionate. I'm going to come out passionate that night. So everybody make plans to be there on the third Wednesday on the 20th because that's going to be a bit in the middle of the Christmas week of activities. So. Folks, come here for that one. I'm not saying anything until then, whether it's not is or isn't not. So
no, you're right. I'm just backing my own opinion, no matter what. Just like the bald guy.
Everybody has opinion to be wrong, Hungry, even you. So.
No, I understand the bald guy, and I'm making jokes, but he makes jokes about other people, so he has to accept a joke. Towards him, like he makes jokes towards other people. It's just the way it works.
Well, it's always a thing about if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen. It's like you got to get a thick skin, and it goes 2 ways too. And it's just what it is. I mean, sometimes is it time?
If you could talk for like 3 minutes, then you can get right back on.
Okay, all right, you got that.
Hungry, you want me to vamp? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, can you vamp for 3 minutes?
Mrs.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mrs. Can you tell her thank you for me, please?
Thank you. He's enjoying today. Thank you.
I know. I'm listening.
All right. Did you remember that movie though? Did you remember that movie that we retract? It was it.
I don't.
What was after
I don't
Ant-Man?
remember
Okay.
names.
All right. We'll figure it out. Bye. I'll be back.
Okay, so I'm vamping here. Apologies to everyone. So let me just have a look at the chat here very quickly. And my eyes. I need bifocals, I'm telling you. Okay, so Buddy Hepburn says he who would pun would pick a pocket. Nice reference there, buddy. Nice reference. And Castle says, I was wrong once, and even then I was right. Well, sometimes that does kind of happen, particularly in comedy. Max Redstone says, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. The circuits that are not cut are cut automatically. You ask for a miracle, Theo, I give you the FBI. Yes, I'm still, I know you're right, and I know I'm wrong, but I'm not going to agree. And Buddy Hepburn says, hiya, Snortopupus Cuber. Okay, so here's a question to get a little interactive here, because so many other channels are no longer interactive. And I'm not talking about our friends. I'm talking about the bigger channels. Out of all of you who have seen any of the Riff Comedy people, any of the Riff Comedy groups, can you list one, not your favorite, because I hate it when people say what's your favorite, one of your favorites, let's say top 20 shows, movies, etc., that have been riffed that you laughed at? Whether it be It Conquered the World from the original MST3K with Joel, whether it be Hobgoblins, MST3K did Hobgoblins first, but then Riff Tracks did that, whether it be Starship Troopers, whether it be, you're back.
It could not save Hobgoblins. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We about fell asleep in that one. It's a bad movie when those guys cannot save the movie.
Yeah. I know. Well, there are some modern ones. There are some modern ones which they could not save for me. But there, I will say there's always room for common ground, because I can't remember what the title was, but it was one of the most recent Steven Seagal movies.
Okay,
yeah.
Was it a live performance, or is it just one of the ones that they do of all the movies?
No, it's just one of the ones where they do all the movies, as you said. It was not live.
Okay. Well, let me. I hope I didn't cut you off in the middle of your thought. So.
Oh, I asked a question of the chat. I was asking what their favorite Riff Comedy movie or episode was. That's what I was asking. And I think they're thinking.
I will say
some of them are thinking.
I will always say Starship Troopers will always be my favorite because it was the first and it was really crazy. And Anaconda, they did a great job. But let's see. Max Redstone, come on the 20th. Daisy and I are ready for a fight. Let's bring 50 people. Let's get 50 people to come into the show. Let's get 20 subscribers. Come on. Bring your friends, neighbors, dogs, everybody else on the 20th. Daisy and I are prepared to talk Die Hard, and we're going to embrace this. This is why we're doing it before Christmas. One of the questions we're going to hit, is it a Christmas movie? Hungry Boy says no. Max Redden said Die Hard is a Christmas movie. The circuits that, quote, the circuits that are not cut are cut automatically. You ask for a miracle, Theo, I give you the FBI. Delivered by the great Alan Rickman.
Yes,
what a wonderful actor.
R.I.P. And he was fantastic in a whole bunch of independent movies as well. He was great in everything. He's never given a bad performance on screen.
Even Galaxy Quest is supposedly a funny movie, and it's like, I thought that this guy, he's one of those actors that you think is pissed off all the time that didn't have a sense of humor, but he was such a brilliant actor. It was like, he was like in Galaxy Quest, it was refreshing to see him.
I agree. Role. Well, I agree, because that's a film that you can love on two levels, and that's where the Riff Comedy really comes in, because a lot of times it was said, this was particularly said, I think mainly by Trace and also by Frank, that they had a big problem when they were offered they were actually forced to do This Island Earth, which is considered one of the greatest science fiction films ever made. And that was actually referred to back when Raquel was doing movie reviews for the Clobby's Thursday Clubhouse.
Mhm.
And the thing is, they said, the film is so great, we're not going to be able to come up with good jokes for it. We're not going to be able to do that. And I completely understand. And I think Galaxy Quest is one of those because it's already got good jokes. It's partially comedy, partially drama with a little bit of romance. And I would hate to see somebody actually have to do a rip on that movie because the movie is already ripping itself. It's putting a hat on a hat.
Well, I guessed it was a spoof of Star Trek, right?
It was a spoof of Star Trek culture, but not necessarily Star Trek itself.
Did the Star Trekians have a sense of humor about it at the time? Because I know they're pretty defensive sometimes with stuff, but
half did not.
Well, it's like the Star Wars community embraced Spaceballs. You know.
Oh, right.
I loved Spaceballs, but then a girlfriend at the time, what dimwit, she like, there's no Star Wars. It's like, damn. So we ended up watching Beverly Hills Cop 2. It's like, like, damn. So I had a preacher's daughter taking me to see Beverly Hills Cop 2 instead of Spaceballs. So
hold on, South Park moment. That does not make sense.
Didn't to me either, but it was a fun movie. I made sure of that. So
no, it's a good movie. Beverly Hills Cop 2 is a good movie, but the fact
I flew that one right past you high and tight.
I know you did. You did. I just caught up, but I'm not going to comment. We might only have 5 minutes left. I don't know how long this is going to go.
Actually, she is taking a break now. She just needed me to help move that one thing. She's going to take a break. She has moved half the damn living room already, and a lot of it's it's like she's really great. The lady can move. Her and her mom are the most amazing packers. They can pack friggin' 3 houses into one U-Haul van. I mean, and then like this, it was like what I've seen. If I was out there, I'd be in her way. And she'll tell you, she just needs the help with the strength and the muscle and the moving. Right. She piddles, she putters, she can get it done. So she just needs me for strategic man help, lifting and stuff like that. So, but I'm not making her work. No, I'm not. That's not helping well play. But
sometimes the women in our life have said, "Okay, look, I wanted you to help. I know you're trying." But you're actually making it go slower and you're making things go harder. So you go do something else that's going to help me out.
I know. I don't always do this so easily, but hey, it's like usually I stay in the way, but can I help? I'm trying to help, but hey, damn it.
But that's actually something that's a problem with the new MST3K, not the other iterations who are the older people, but you have these people who they don't understand how the schematic works. And you understand what schematic means because you know your role. And also the missus with her previous job that she told me about, she understands what a schematic is in terms of creative stuff. But if someone doesn't understand the schematic, they can't create the little bits that go to create the schematic. And they can come up with things that they understand, but if no one else understands them, it's not going to work as a small part of the whole. And I said WHOLE, not HOLE, Max, because I know you were going to make a joke about that. But
we got 13 likes and 9 people watching this. This is amazing.
All right.
So, hey, guys, we'll keep going as long as we got content. Y'all have things to pop up in here.
Sometimes swirling works.
Let's look at the history of them from beginning to the end. But let's finish up what you said. You had asked the chat if there was one that they liked the best, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Buddy mentioned bad lip reading. See, that's he says that's different, but it's actually what I'm talking about because a lot of what Bridget and Mary Jo do, and this is also what the Mads do. That's Frank Conniff and Trace Beaulieu. They will actually look at these industrial shorts that were made for various industries. And they will look at learning how to be more sociable in high school, learning how to help the family at home, and things like that. And hey, Phantom Outsider, all right,
yes. MST3K had a very high joke per minute quotient over various topics. Absolutely. And they were very highbrow, very, smart. They were intellectual. You had to think about it a little bit,
But also, to
but
be
still
fair,
funny.
to be fair, Phantom, the original series that was not on national cable, it was just in Minnesota, had a very low joke per minute ratio, a very low joke per minute. And one of the things that was
Yeah.
said to them when they had the offer to go on to the Comedy Channel, which became Comedy Central, is you have to up the jokes. There's got to be more jokes per minute in order for this to work.
And I agree with that. I do look back at it. But one thing that I do appreciate with them, whether it's the regular riffs that you buy, you're talking about the Riff Checks guys specifically. I haven't heard the others, but with their live shows and with the things that you do buy, I actually appreciate, except for Revenge of the Sith. That one, they went all F-bomb because of Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu. That was like, Mimifer, because of Pulp Fiction. It was just like, but in context, it was right. I like with the way they don't overdo either the F-bombs at times, and they really don't. That was like and I don't even know that they said that full word itself, but they played on that reputation. There was basis for what they did when they did do it. In the theater performances, you can take your family and feel okay with it. There is innuendo. Yeah. Oh yeah. There is double entendres. There is innuendo at times, but it's not the type that you have to take a shower with, which is one of those things that, we have our after dark times. We do our things where we go over PG-13, but it's nice to have things that do not go so far into the gutter all the time,
Well, this to back up what you're saying, and I'm sorry that's a repeated phrase, but you get tired and you're not going to come up with a lousy different way to say the same damn thing all the time. The thing that it is very much like the old 1940s Warner Brother cartoons. And there's a cartoon that was shown in Australia and in the United States. And I saw it in Australia and I saw it in the United States, where you have Bugs Bunny dealing with a squalling baby who is actually a gangster who is tiny and pretending to be a baby. And he slams a bottle of laudanum in the baby's mouth to shut the baby up. Now, do you know what laudanum is?
Not a clue.
It's liquid opium.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything. You just saw the label on the bottle. He opens the bottle, he shoves it in the baby's mouth, the baby goes glug, 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 and then you see the pupils of the baby expand to where they look like horse eyes. Yeah. Right? And Finster Baby. Thank you, Fanty. Finster Baby. And that part first got edited out of the cartoon. Now the cartoon's not shown at all anymore, and it's very hard to track down.
Wow.
Very hard.
Well, one of the other things,
kids would, just to back you up, kids would not get that joke. Kids would not even be able to read the word laudanum at the age of 5.
Right. No, I understand. Well, do you have a favorite one or favorite moment personally?
I have so many, I can't say favorite, but like I asked the chat, I was like 1 out of 20, right? 1 out of 20. And
I can tell you a high class moment I had.
Go ahead.
I love the way they do shorts. And they've had, look at some of these. They've actually had some of the Christmas ones where they did the 30-minute episodes in shorts and stuff like that. If it's a short movie, they will do a short or two before they get into the main riffing. It's hard.
Oh my laughing. God, the Gumby shorts kill me.
The Gumby shorts are interesting. They had one a while back that was like Gumby and they were in the woods trying to avoid an alien or dinosaurs or something. It was like crazy. But there was one that, and I've told this before, a lot of people probably heard it, but maybe not everybody said I'm having trouble getting it out without giggling and laughing. But it had everybody's favorite grandpa, who was Mr. Dirty Old Ass Kicker guy in the firm, the one good part of the firm, Wilford Brimley.
I love Wilford Brimley. He was one of the best parts of the thing as well back in 1982.
Well, they had a short, and it was a different type of short. It wasn't insurance, wasn't, all the other stuff. It was, I don't remember what it was, but he was in there. And then when they finally panned to him, I was just, I would still like my popcorn and I like my drinks. Okay. So I had my one kid on my left, one kid on my right. The missus did not go that time. People sitting right in the row ahead of me. And it's not like the big theater seatings now when you put your legs out and, is the way. No, this was like regular stadium seating where the people are like, you could put your hand on their head when you get up. Right. I got a mouthful of Coke at the time, Coca-Cola drink. So I better watch how I say that. But they, I'm drinking it. I got a big swallow there. And all of a sudden they pan to him and one of them quip, diabetes.
Yeah, I
know. And I nearly spit the whole freaking drink out of my mouth. I'm like trying to keep my mouth closed. I can't swallow. It's burning. It's dripping up and out of my nose and out of my lips. And I'm looking to one kid to the left, spewing on them a little, going to the right to get out of the row. I had to get out of there, spilling more on that kid, tripping, getting out now, then hit to the bottom step and fell flat on the floor, right down at the end, and then just crawled out of the theater.
Really? I mean, it was. Yes. I mean, you're not exagerating.
I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, dude.
Let me see here. Let me get see if Aang is available.
Yeah, Aang. Is Aang a fan of Riff Comedy too?
Oh yeah.
All right, the youngins. Yeah, let's get the perspective of the youth in here. The youth. Get the youth in here.
All right, let me go tell him real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll just.
Yeah, I know, Castle. That's why I rephrased that.
Yeah. Tony Montana. Castle. Oh dear. Well, I mean, while Dadman is away, I'll just go into a couple of my top. Number one for cinematic Titanic, I would say, it's a toss up between Rattlers. Rattlers was incredibly funny, and Tiki Island. Tiki Island was incredible, and I don't know who did better, but also, Genocide or Time of the Insects. Those three, it's hard to tell whether Mary Jo did better or Josh did better. And when it comes to the Mads, I would have to say with them, the Last Missile, and with MST3K proper with Joel, then I would go. Hey, Aang, you're here. Good. I can shut up.
I'm here. Yeah, sorry.
You sound sleepy.
I was taking a nap, but this is important.
Well done, Aang. Well done.
This is very important. Dad wanted me to tell the story about the Riff Tracks Coke incident. That sounds so bad out of context because, it's like you're doing some Coke at a movie theater. Anyways.
Bye-bye, PG-13. Bye-bye.
Listen. Sorry, my bad. That's like I said. I have legally one joke I can make. That was my one joke. Okay.
So, keep going.
Okay, so you're at the movie theater. There was a funny joke where the guy went, diabetes, and Dad laughed so hard he almost spit out his Coke, and he had to run out. While he was running out, he tripped and fell, right? He tripped and fell, and the people in front of us were like, is that dude okay? And we're like, no. We're like, no.
No. Good. Keep going. Keep going.
It was hilarious. That's pretty much all that happened. Was there anything else I said, right?
Didn't I spit it on you?
Oh yeah, you spit it on me and my bro.
Now you leave that part out?
Oh, I thought it was not. Listen, I thought it was unimportant.
It's not important. He just spit out all his Coke all over me and my pal. It's not important. Oh, that's great, Hank. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. I'm going back to take a nap. I'm going to continue my nap.
Okay, good nap time to you, Ang. Good nap time
Alright.
to you.
Also, hi Squeaka, what's goody? And hi chat. I hope Dad's stream has been going well. And
It's going a lot better than we expected.
awesome. That's good. By the way, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Boom. Boom! You get free. You get free vouchers. You get free vouchers, Dad Man.
All right,
You
thank
get
you.
free vouchers. Good night.
Good
And
night.
has left the building.
All right, so,
Oh, that kid is fantastic. Oh boy.
oh, that kid is incredible, talented. Yeah, from the witness, they had it spewed on them so much it was crazy. I thought I was going to. I do not know how I did not spit out on the people in front of us. They do not know what it was. The kids saw it and felt it, but I. Oh well, see, no, that's what might be my luck, but hey, I can imagine that's pretty good. And hello, Squeaka, you came in while Ang was here, but good to see you today. But yeah, I was just like, those people they might have asked if I was okay, but they had no clue how close I was to just them getting a Coca-Cola shower. How about that?
Coca-Cola shower. Nice.
Now Castle's got me modifying my own stuff with stuff like that because he's like, I saw this bat here. Yeah, this. It's like, yeah. As soon as I said it, I'm like, yeah, got to watch that quote. So good to see all y'all people out here. We got 9 still with us, it says so, and we got new people jumping in at the moment. This stream just is brought to you courtesy of Hungry, who said, Dad Man, I was off today, and said, Dad Man, I want to do some MST3K talking, so we're talking some MST3K. So that's my big memory from the live shows per se, But do y'all have any memories or special episodes or, either at home, live shows or whatever that you've done? Or what do you like from the history of the show, whether it's MST3K or any of its variants, the riff tracks, the others. So, hey.
Well, also a lot of my favorites now are from people who are inspired by all the variants of MST3K. And they actually are completely separate. Like there's, even though I may not agree with their politics per se, as I said earlier at the top of the program, we got to leave the politics aside, right? If it's a good joke, it's a good joke, one way or the other. Right. But they're called Master Pancake Theater, and they do things live in Austin, Texas, and they will make some really, really raunchy jokes. I mean, sometimes they will make the occasional political joke, but those are very rare. That's like 1 or 2% out of all the jokes they make. So you can go, and you have that little emotional moment, but then they move on to another joke and you're like, we're back on track again. That's nice.
Well, there's nothing wrong with an occasional raunchy joke or two in those cases. It's and it's sometimes it's quite effective.
I don't mean the raunchy joke. I mean the political joke.
Oh, the political joke. Oh, I got you. Yeah. But still, it's kind of awkward. My thing is though, if you get the balance like with South Park, offend everybody. Yeah. Do it equally. Do it often. That's the thing is it's when you're trying to pick on only one side, but when you're bashing everybody, dear gosh.
Well, I will say this for them, even though they self-destruct.
Padawannabe. Yes, Padawannabe. Hey.
Nice one, Padawannabe. Nice one.
If we ever get to visit you there, then
Squeaka knows Master Pancake. All right, Squeaka. All right. Oh yes. Oh, Squeaka. No, I've watched at least 50 episodes. 50 episodes of Master Pancake. Oh, yeah. And they also sometimes invite Trace and Frank to be on with them, and they've invited Mary Jo Pell from MST3K to be on with them. And they're very inviting. So yeah, I mean they're libs, and I mean I don't like using the term libs or cons because as Dadman knows and Squeaka knows, I'm very apolitical. I'm apolitical. which means I just want the comedy, I just want the art, I don't want anything like getting in the way of that. But they will go after a variety of films, a variety. I mean, sometimes they will go after, I kid you not, they've done like, at least in Squeaky knows this, they've oh, you live there, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's why I said if we ever get a visitor, she's got to take us.
Yeah,
exactly.
But they have done a couple of episodes of Quincy. They've done a lot of Murder, She Wrote, and those are hilarious.
So what do they just take a TV episode and
big movies and big movies.
And
They actually did the most recent Halloween movie. They did that. And they also did the original Halloween movie. They did that. They done From Russia with Love. They did From Russia with Love.
Bond movie?
Yeah. And they've sometimes, as Squeaka knows, they'll do 2 or more movies, but sometimes 2 movies per night. So if you're catching it online, it's like, whoa, it's a big download and you got to watch it live. But and I'm in Australia, so I can't go see them live. But the situation is that the stuff they do has a huge range. They did The Warriors from 1979. They've done Return of the Living Dead. They've oh my God, I'm still waiting, and this is for all the sci-fi fans out there who love bad but good sci-fi films. I'm still waiting for them to do Saturn 3. But the thing is, they only really, and Squeaka, oh no, this is my interpretation. I may be wrong. Squeaka will know. They seem to only take suggestions from the people who are going to show up and buy the tickets, which I can respect. Why should they take, if I can't show up and put money in their pocket, then why should they take a suggestion from me? I totally get that.
Yeah, now it's okay. I've heard the stories about like Rocky Horror where things done and stuff. So it's not an interactive with the audience. It's just that they're doing all the acting and the stuff, right? It's not like Rocky Horror where you do stuff to the audience and the audience members.
Squeaka can put it out in the chat, but from what I've seen, basically what happens is there are originally it was all live. Then the C word happened in 2019.
Right.
And then they started doing things on, I don't know if it was Zoom or StreamYards, but they started doing those. And then those became very popular. So then now they do a mixture of doing it live, but also doing it on a stream where people are just at their homes. They do a mixture of both. And I think that is a brilliant idea. I think that's what most people should do. That's like, I mean, well, you look at a whole bunch of, look at us right now. We are an ocean apart. If we were just going to do things, if we could be in the same room together, we would never have been on YouTube together.
Right.
Ever.
Right. Well, the affordability of StreamYard too. Can you imagine us on a regular telephone line?
Oh, don't even say that. My God. My budget just died from you saying that.
No, Padawannabe, it's 2020. It's the big thing that happened in 2020 that people do not want to still say the right words, which is weird, but hey. So, and
they also do skits, which you would like.
And see what she said here. They do have sing-alongs and stuff. Some audience participation, not all their stuff is televised. So
correct. And they also do skits based on the movie that they're riffing. And so that can take up to 20 minutes or even 25 minutes. Now, obviously, that doesn't happen. Go ahead.
What is Phantom saying about Kitma? What is?
I don't know what Kitma is.
I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. So.
Oh, no. KTMA. That's the original Minnesota television station. That,
oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, shoot. Hello, DJ Play Nice. Good to see you again. Hey, you rock. Hey, take care, man. I guess he's been lurking there. Good to see you, DJ. The original TV station. Okay.
Yeah. So the KTMAs are referring to the KTMA episodes. And they were good, but the jokes were few and far between. And at the beginning, I mean, I'll be honest, and I hope Fanti doesn't hate me for saying this.
Yeah.
You might have a movie and have about 20 jokes, and 5 of them would be good.
Yeah.
So sometimes getting the corporate dollar is a good thing.
Oh, hey, Squeaker says they've even done things like Mad Libs with the audience. Oh, that sounds fun. So, yeah. Oh, KTMA will save us. So, all right. Wow.
That's
See
true.
what you
No,
did, Hungry? I took a
Yeah.
day off, and you all of a sudden say, "Damn man, let's squirrel. Let's go live." And look what's happened. We got 12 great
I'm
people with us hanging out
sorry.
and having fun. Oh, it's okay. It's good. It's good. I'm helping the missus get some stuff. She's taking a break. Helped her for a few minutes of strategic moving, and I got a lot of crap cleaned up around here today. Which it's funny. On the weekend, I don't want to work around the house. It's like nothing but Fortnite and fun, and then it's like work week comes around. Well, hey.
Well, the thing is, if we do this show and that ends up getting, after 2 weeks, 3 new subscribers, that's closer to you getting monetized, closer to you getting more money, and then she'll turn around and go, "Okay, you did not clean up when I was cleaning up.
No.
You're going to give me money for a new Lego set."
There you go. Damn straight. By the way, with all the people here, I do want to shout out the missus, though, folks. Look, hey, I'm at 519 already. I'd like to get 520 because I'm obsessed with round numbers, and there's just something about the 20 instead of the 19. But listen, go check this lady out because she's such talented. We had a hell of a stream this morning, and then you guys showed up this morning's chat, wonderful. And I tell you what, these streams are fun with you guys here and talking and stuff. That it makes it so much better with y'all. And then the build stream this afternoon had a great attendance and all and involvement. She's at 91 subscribers right now. So if you please go over, if you have not already, go subscribe to Mrs. Dadman. She's the one that keeps me in line. Actually has got me off the ground. And I'll just be honest, go subscribe. Let's see if we can get 9 to put her to 100. So today. Okay. So let's see if we can do that. If you haven't, and sometimes you may think you are already subscribed, and either things happen or it happens. Okay, Hungry, I got it. Yeah, well, hey, we all like odd things, so you're pretty well in the club here with that, Squeaka. So, Phantom Outsiders first saw Joel back when he was guest comedian on Saturday Night Live, who then caused a hotel to be evacuated. Because he had a clock that looked like dynamite for his act, they tossed in the trash at the motel. Oh, God. So then Saturday Night Live invites him back the next week. Hey, why not? Hey, that is something to have an encore the next week, not just, not. That's pretty good. Pretty good gig there when you get a repeat performance that quickly together. But hey, we are here this afternoon. Like I said, do check out Mrs. Dadman Walking's channel. Go over there, subscribe to her now if you haven't already. She does her 9:00 morning show every day. A daily dose of positivity. Her morning musings. Tomorrow will be a little bit different because she will not have a computer more than likely. So it'll be from her phone, a little less graphics, but she still plans to be there. And go back, check her videos. Go watch her videos on Twitch to get some more playtime, runtime. Subscribe to her channel. She wants to get monetized. Let's get her to 500. Or as Rambling Canuck has done. Did you see the tweet that I put out? The video that Canuck made for us?
No, I'll have to. No.
Okay. Can we experiment with something? And this may end up getting me a claim. I don't know. If it does, I don't care. We'll see what happens. But yes.
I saw that, Fanty. I saw that. I remember that. Yeah, I was in America at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. You take the lead while I work on some of this stuff. Oh gosh.
Oh
my God.
Dear.
Wow. That was an interesting thing. So bear with me 1 second, but Hungry. So did there any particular episodes that I know you said there are multiple, but if you had to pick one or things or let me do the from this angle. Okay. You think about that, but taking the TV show, and let's start with the originals. Which of the puppets are the robots did you like? Who was the best robot? What was your favorite? And you in the chat, feel free to opine on this too. So.
Okay, so if it was going to be a joke that involved history or finance or something of that nature, it would be Tom Servo. If it was going to be an emotional joke or something more subjective, it would be Crow T Robot. It would depend on the joke. It would depend on the joke.
guess what? I just realized I can't do this without taking my stream down because
What?
I have to. Well, no. If to get the audio, I would have to go into Google Chrome, and I'm not there with StreamYards. But we can play the video, which would save us the copyright strike or copyright claim. All right, so go ahead. So Crow Robot, why Crow?
Well, being the artist, I'm more subjective, but that means I'm attracted to the opposite. So that's when I would go to Tom Servo. But what I would resonate mostly with would be the original Crow, who was played by, always, the original Crow was played by Trace Beaulieu. And it was only after Frank got pissed off and Trace alongside him, because they would often co-write together. They left the show, okay? Mm-hmm. That meant that Bill Corbett had to take over as Crow. And that was, even though he did the voice very well, and he originally did the Trace Crow voice very well, the jokes were very different. And so it was a hard adjustment for me. But I got used to it, and I ended up loving what Bill did. And I'm sure that Squeakin' knows what I'm talking about. But I mean, this goes to Master Pancake Theater, where if the leader of Master Pancake Theater suddenly dropped out and had to be replaced, I'm sure Squeaka would be squalling in her oatmeal, if you know what I mean.
All right, Squeaka, thanks for coming by. I got to roll out. Hey, Squeaka, if you give 1 second before you do, real quick. All right, but hey, hope to see you later. Take care, though, in the meantime. But thanks for crashing in. Here, I want to show this. Make sure you've seen it, too. Hey, this is courtesy of Rambling Canuck. I'll try to do music. Ba 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 ba. Go
That's
support
great.
the missus. Subscribe.
I love it. Oh, I have seen this. I have
the
seen
2024 Sub Wars.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Because I don't think the audio is coming in to you guys in the chat.
No, I'm not hearing it.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing it.
And think of stadium music, sports chanting.
Oh, it's female Sauron. I love it.
Yeah. Dance movie. Oh, what? It stopped. There we go. Flawless victory. The little Mortal Kombat in there.
Yeah. Because no matter which side wins, everybody wins. Beautiful. But, to answer you, oh, there we go again.
Sorry, I know it's like out of the loop, but hey, there you go. Sarita, yes, go support the missus.
Oh.
Tell your friends and everybody about the missus too.
Nice one, Snorty. Nice one. But the thing is, like, I answered that with Cinematic Titanic and the Mads for the chat, but I with MST3K, and this is going to sound very strange to people who know it. With Joel, it's going to be, as I said before, It Conquered the World, and that's a Roger Corman film. Although Earth versus the Spider is very close. But when it comes to the Mike Nelson one, I have to respect something that is very difficult to do, and it's one that he actually requested to be done, and that was a German version, which was dubbed in the 1950s of Hamlet. They actually attacked Hamlet, and I thought that took a lot of guts, and the first half of it was incredibly funny, but the second half they had nothing to work with.
Yep. By the way, folks, with that, I don't know if it's timing or somebody did it on the earlier thing, but hey, Mrs. 92 subscribers.
All right,
that's their channel. Only 8 more to go. So get her to 100. She tried to get to 800 to 100 by tonight by 8 p.m., which would be 4 weeks from her first stream. So,
Phantom, yes,
wonderful. So,
Phantom,
the amazing colossal man. Yeah, that's one of the traditional ones.
Yes, it is, and that's a joke that I always bring up in regards to people raised with Facebook. They don't get the joke because they don't study anymore and they don't know people who are different than them. Where the sister of Colonel Manning says, why did this have to happen to Glenn? And then one of the characters says, because he's a Calvinist, honey.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Predestination, right? Oh,
And that's a
gosh.
Mike Nelson joke. That's a Mike Nelson joke. Even
But
though
see,
he,
that's
he
what
was
I've
an
looked at-
atheist at the point. He was an atheist at that point, believe it or not. Oh, sorry. What?
Okay. Oh no, go ahead. You keep talking. 1 second. I got to mute.
Oh, damn. That came out of nowhere. Okay. Well, guess we're going to improv. But see, Mike Nelson had not actually married Bridget at that point. They were dating at that point. They're not married at that point, according to everything that we can garner. But then when he married Bridget, that's when some of those jokes fell by the wayside.
Well,
He's
see,
back, thank God.
that's the comic brilliance of it. The whole thing is, I mean, that's what I talk about the highbrow. It's not just Spudge. I love my Spudge Bobby and humor. I do love my Snap and stuff. I do. I admit, I like my Bart Simpson. But you know what? That is a joke that makes you think. Oh,
Yes.
you know, and that's what I think is, you know, you think that these guys are just smart Alex based crude humor or just nothing sophisticated, but it's very sophisticated with some of those things that, especially when you sit there and think, oh, that's what they're talking about, you know. Back to the question about my favorite of all of them. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was, I think I like Gypsy the best, but because you didn't see her that much. Gypsy was just a kind hearted, lovable robot that kept everything all.
You know why? Because Gypsy was played by the producer of the show, Jim Mallon. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, and I tell you what, and of course Cambot, you really never saw him except in intro. So Hobbsy and Calvin.
That's a good joke. Calvin and
Exactly.
Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes.
I remember the one Amazing Colossal Man where the big giant guy throws the needle that they jabbed him with for the serum and threw the one guy in the chest. I was like, oh God.
Well,
See,
there was a joke that kept going on and on in MST3K, and it still goes on, but it also got brought into Cinematic Titanic because of Trace. Trace came up with this joke as Crow, and then it got brought up into the Mads are back as well. And that's when you have some idiot character in some incredibly bad movie portraying a cop, and he's holding his gun and he's lifting it up and he's holding it in a way that everyone knows is totally unsafe for a gun
Right.
owner, and Trace just goes bang like he shot himself in the foot or something, and it's always funny. It's
Yeah.
always hilarious.
Yeah. No, it truly was. It was. But I always liked Gypsy the best. I always had a soft spot. I didn't think she got enough attention, you know, in the shows. Their Christmas episodes were also cool when they did holiday specials.
Oh yeah. Oh, and thank you, Fanty, for the correction. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Or
that.
the fiance.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I mean, War of the
exactly.
Colossal Beast. See, the thing is, War of the Colossal Beast, if you're a monster fan, is the better movie. But the thing is that it's also much more, believe it or not, even though it's made later than The Amazing Colossal Man, it's actually more politically incorrect. So they had less to work with, if you know what I mean. Less to work with. Because they were not politically correct at this point. They got politically correct later. But the War of the Colossal Beast is a very fun movie and had some great prosthetic makeup in it. Great prosthetic makeup.
Well, we've been going for almost 2 hours. Wow. Well,
It was going to be 46 minutes.
I know. Thanks to the missus with her letting just using strategic stuff. So she's actually working to taking a little rest for the moment. So we've got a little bit of time, and we're going to try to start to wrap up though.
Okay.
So I'm just looking at hour 45 minutes when we just came into just wow, that was crazy. So you guys make this great. Like I said, it'd be great to have 50 people here for Die Hard on the 20th. I mean, really, Daisy and I, it's going to be fun. And we do want to embrace the movie itself and whether it's a Christmas movie or not. Bring your friends and stuff. Hey, Studding, good to see you today. This afternoon. Oi.
A very good point, Fanty. Very good point. And hello, Stunning. But very good point, Fanty. And that's why sometimes it was very interesting and it kept you. MST3K actually, to a slight extent, kept you on the edge of your seat because you would think, will they comment on this line or will they not comment
Yeah.
on this line.
Exactly. They were very, they kept you guessing. So, yep. And howdy to Stunning. Yes. All right. None of y'all here, make sure you hit that like button. Folks, keep going over there and support the missus. Bring your friends and everybody over there. I want one more to get me to 520. If I can get off the 19, I'll be happy. Just there's something about 19. I want to see a 0. It's a 0. Actually, 25 would be even better, but I'll take the 0. But but in all seriousness, if y'all are here and y'all have not subscribed yet to the missus, please go do so. I'm gonna put her. I think that's the one thing I forgot to do was actually forgot to put the link itself in the chat. But what'd you think of that video that Canuck made for us?
I loved it. I to be honest, it looked professionally done. It looked like you guys went and spent $50 on Fiverr for that. And $50 for Fiverr, that's not a joke. $50 for Fiverr is like 500 in LA, right? Because there's going to be somebody doing something in India for $50, and that's like the LA equivalent of $1,000. And that was beautiful. I'm not joking. That was beautiful. No. I loved it.
Well, we'll play it one more time on the way out. If I'll have it. I'll have it queued to do it again. Then.
Okay, I got the 14th like in. There we go.
Yeah, all right. There's something about 14 today. I think Mrs. had that too, and all that. So anyway, I'm going to get it set for later. How did you like my musical ability? Which is kind of cool because it's really that the music's what gets you, you know. But you see the whole thing at two sides. It brought in the Mortal Kombat with a flawless victory, and I didn't recognize that was female Sauron. But
well, I'm not a game guy. I go off images that I see. So if it's a game reference, it's not that I'm not laughing. It's that I have no reference for the joke. No, I have not played a video game since 1985.
Well, I'll tell you what, the flawless victory was a Mortal Kombat throw, so that was good. The Sauron is what I didn't know. I didn't know who the other guy on the left is. Phantom Outsider says, or when they showed the bomb going off and Joel goes, "This is your house," and I'm laughing. Turn on the lights.
Well, this is something that you and Fanty's a bit older than us, but we all remember this: the duck and cover bull crap, and that was an ongoing joke in MST3K. See, it's hard to mention.
Which has also been spoofed in South Park over the years.
Yes, but it's hard to mention favorite episodes, but I can mention favorite jokes. A duck and cover joke is always going to be one of my favorites because you will not survive from ducking and covering. When we
were visiting the missile silos up in South Dakota, they had displays about that, about all the promos. So yeah. Oh God! Time of the Apes. Yeah,
Fanty. That was. I swear to God, I was flipping channels with a person I was staying with, who was my girlfriend at the time. Well, I don't know if we should say girlfriend, but long term monogamous lover. Okay, like maybe leading
girlfriend would have been. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's so confusing. It's so confusing for old people now. It's so confusing. But the thing is that I was switching around like, oh, here's a Japanese movie I saw 5 minutes of when I was a kid. Great, I'll watch this. And I'm thinking, okay, what's with the little silhouette shadows at the bottom of the screen? Why are they talking over the movie? Oh, wait, they're funny. Hold on, let's watch this. And she's saying, change the channel. That's annoying. And I'm saying, no, it's funny, honey. It's funny. And then we watched.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And then we watched the rest of it. There was about 45 minutes of it. And I'm sitting there going, what the hell is this? I look up on the TV guide and it says Mystery Science Theater 3000. I thought it was a kid's show. I thought that was going to be like a show for kids learning science. I didn't realize it was comedy using old films.
I stumbled upon it one day. I don't know why, because between football games or stuff, I think, and I just stumbled upon it with the cable. Was just like, oh crap, what is this? And just by blind luck, I had never heard about it. But they were really big in the early days about the Minnesota radio station writing in, share the tapes. It just was it really is a like one of those ground level things that became a big thing. You know, it's like crowdfunding before crowdfunding was a thing. You know, you just before we had the internet and tell everybody, it was just truly go share the tapes, and you had to see the message to get it. And it's amazing what it did over time. But Sort of Poopa says incorrect. Those wooden desks in school were excellent radiation shields.
Well, see, that's a joke that should be in the modern MSD3K.
Yeah. Phantom said my dad actually introduced me to MSD3K.
Good.
He goes, "Oh, this show. I think you like it." Yeah. See, I really still though. I look back at these fondly, but if I watch the live show, I can a little bit. But I like having somebody with me to catch the jokes because otherwise my mind strays. Or, the live shows, when you're in a place and that's all you have, you're away from home. So you don't have the other things. You shouldn't be on your phone in the movie theater, that type of thing. And, to me, it's all about being in that situation because I still will always like the live performance. So, hey, it's even better. You don't need Dutton cover. Just hop in the fridge. You'll be fine. Thank you
God.
for that reminder. Thank you, Sonny, for that reminder.
All right. But also to what Fanty's saying, he said, my father always wanted them to do Them, which is one of the first giant bug movie, technically speaking.
Okay. That one. Yeah.
But the rights to it, because it's such a successful movie, they couldn't get the rights to it. Yeah. And they had thousands of people saying, do Them. And, they didn't have the time or the energy to write because we weren't really that internet savvy at that point.
That's why I was surprised when they got like Starship Troopers.
Oh, that was much later though.
I know, but still they were able to raise it to get something, the amount of crowdfunding, I think, or whatever, to be able to get that. Or then Anaconda.
Right.
They've gotten some really top line movies. I mean, they may not be Academy Award top line, but they've gotten beyond just The Room. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But even the room would have cost a little bit of money, but Them back in the 80s or the early 90s would have cost the entire yearly budget for the rights because TNT owned the rights to Them. TNT, which was also TBS, they were owned by the same person. And hold on. Did they ever? No, they never did the Giant Claw.
I was just looking at that. Because there were comments about why did they not ever do it, but yeah, that's one. See, I didn't know. Yeah,
it's about the rights. It's about the rights and who buys the rights. Because Wade Williams bought the rights to the Giant Claw, so they could do the Giant Claw right now because it depends on the copyright notice and how far back the copyright exists. So you can buy something and extend the copyright, but Wade Williams is no longer with us. So when his rights to the Giant Claw go out, that's done. Forget it. It's finished. Mm-hmm. Anybody can do it until somebody buys the rights and wants to put a whole bunch of money into doing DVDs or Blu-rays of the Giant Claw. But see, Blu-rays and DVDs, I don't want to talk like another certain channel we all know about, but they're done now. It's all about streaming, and it's on archive.org. So I think a good riff of the Giant Claw might be coming relatively soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh God. Oh, Fanty. Yeah. No, not that one. Not that one. What about torture? Torture. With the lobster Fanty, the giant lobster as a monster. It's even worse than Earth versus the Spider, where it's just like a tarantula. It's terrified of all these human beings.
Look at this right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Matt, I'm sorry I cut you off again, but Master said, Dadman for the rescue. You cannot imagine how much better you are needed in this moment. No new Marvel could save that moment, but you two superheroes. Glad to be here. Glad to have you, Masters. Definitely.
Thank you,
we're here for you at the moment. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, MMM. Thank you very much. That means a lot. It's one of the only reasons I bother doing this. Aside from friendship, because this is just like sharing a two-person conversation with a bunch of other people.
Yeah,
sometimes
we're like riff tracks, or we're riff tracks. Yeah. Masters. I was like, I had to take time off today, and all of a sudden I get this thing from Hungary. Oh, I got energy. You want to do a stream? I want to go. And I'm like, what's funny is the missus was live, and I got this give me 5 minutes. I'll mic up. And I'm like, wait. I can't do it right now. You got to wait until the missus is done.
No, but you said that in a way I didn't understand. Okay. You said that in a way. It's like 45 minutes. And I'm like, okay, we're going to do a stream for 45 minutes. You're like, no. And I'm like, oh, he meant, okay, maybe in 45 minutes. And
then I was kind of like, it could only last 45 minutes. And here we're going on 2 hours now. Because this is courtesy of the great Mrs. Dadman. Honestly, I'm helping her to the extent that she needs the help. I'm kind of the muscle because I get in the way. She's got a lot of stuff moving around with moving the computer, as y'all know today. So, so we're glad to be here for you, Masters. It was just kind of funny how this blew up today out of nowhere. Just all of course, unexpected. But hey, Masters, make sure you stay around because I have a video that I'm going to replay. Anybody that's new, I'm going to replay a video. Of course, there's no sound, but I want y'all to see it because you don't need the music. Seeing it is what's believing. And the missus is up to 92 subscribers now. Thank you, whoever the new sub was. We appreciate it. Shall we take a quick look at the history of the live MST3K performances?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, now I'm going Wikipedia. I don't care. It's what it is. But hey, starting in August 20th, 2029 was Plan 9 from Outer Space. This seems to be like one of the classic of all-time MST3K Riff Tracks movies and all. Because they'll refer to Plan 9 from Outer Space in other riffs, in other shows, I believe. Oh
yeah, and the Mads have done it as well. So you've got at least three riff companies doing that particular film because it is so riff worthy. And the fact of the matter is, if that film had a budget of, back when it was made, of $100,000, which was not much, it would have been so much better. But it was mainly the budget that killed it and made it so funny, and the fact that two of the actors were hardcore 1950s alcoholic, and the 1950 alcoholic compared to a 2023 alcoholic is like 3 glasses of champagne versus 2 bottles of scotch in 24 hours.
Jeez. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's it's funny how some of these things do come back. They come back from time to time. They reuse them. So as in 93, as I was apparently unsubbed. Oh, okay. That's what, folks, that's what I say. Always check and make sure, even to my channel, make sure that you're still subbed. And I'll tell you, one thing you also need to do, go watch the content too. That's one thing I've heard on Twitch and YouTube is if you don't at least participate a little bit or actively watch for a certain amount of time, it's like the bots come through and then just undo the subs. So,
yeah, good point.
And that's one thing that I did in a group that we had today. Somebody went and subbed. I also asked everybody if you can just go support the channel, do some content, because I think they're out this war on bots and stuff. They will take the subs away if there's no activity, as I've understood it. So congrats, only 7 more. Should we send the bear out, Snortopoopas, to go grab people off the streets?
Yeah, yeah, Snorty, go get him.
Go get him, Snorty. And Masters, bring out more of the European invasion. Yes, to the YouTube side. But but just glad you're here with us today, Masters. All right, so let's look. Plan 9, like I said, Plan 9 from Outer Space is one of those that just. There was also, I can't remember. There was also one actor they always talked about in every movie, and I'm just trying to remember.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Give me one moment. I'll find it. You keep talking. I'll find it.
Okay. So then they go to Riff Tracks. The second was a Christmas one. I miss their Christmas things because they haven't done it in a few years. There was a bunch of different types of shorts, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So you really had that. And they had Weird Al Yankovic with the music there as a guest star on that one. Reefer Madness, which is one of the cult classics of all time, was the third one in August of 2010. House on Haunted Hill.
That was the original, not the 1990s remake. That's the original.
You don't like Owen Wilson?
Dude, don't get me started.
I love that movie. Actually, I like that movie. I thought it was not bad, but I got you.
I like Owen Wilson, but I saw the original, and
Yeah.
it's just like the Haunting. My God, the remake of the the House on Haunted Hill remake is actually great. The House on Haunted Hill remake with Famke Janssen and Jeffrey from Australia, but the remake of The Haunting is garbage, and that's
Tor
a Jan de Bont movie.
Tor Johnson. Yes.
That's one of the actors, but
That's
they also went a lot of times they went over Cameron Mitchell.
Yep.
Cameron from Space Mutiny. He played.
My gosh.
Yeah.
The movie that used all the Battlestar Galactica footage. But I remember Tor Johnson because he's the bald, like the horror actor, right?
No, that's Tor. Yeah, Tor Johnson is the bald guy. He used to actually be he was originally Swedish, and then he moved to America, and he became a professional wrestler in America.
Wow. But hey, thank you, Snortopoopus. Hey, you got that, and you got another one too in there. Hungry, so that's cool. Jack the Giant Killer, which I just think of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, but apparently there's an earlier one. Another one that they call back to all the time, Manos Hands of Fate. That seems to be one of the most popular.
That's been done by all three of the comedy people. So you had it MST3K first, and then you had it done by Riff Tracks, and they did a live version, which was hilarious. And then you also had it done by the Mads. And the Mads did it. And the other actor who they kept they kept making jokes about all the time was Joe Don Baker.
Yes. Yeah.
In Mitchell, particularly. And so there were some actors they came after comedically a little bit, but it was always done with love, you know? It was always done with love and appreciation. But, you know, some people just they don't like hearing, if you're a little bit overweight, sometimes you don't like hearing the fat jokes, or if you're an alcoholic, you don't like hearing the drinking jokes, but that's part of comedy. What can you do?
Well, we've still got 10 people watching us, 15 likes today. Man, you guys are rocking. Hey, thanks for being here. Bring your friends, neighbors. You know, we're still going for a little bit longer. And like I said, also send them over to the missus. We're now appreciate everybody going over there at 93 subscribers on her channel. What we figured out, next month she's going to have to watch how she does Twitch, because she can monetize on Twitch. She just got to get the viewers up right. So, but it's based on 30 days average, and it just the 30 days almost up. There's no way to get the average up, but we're going to she's got a plan for next month. So folks, if you have a Twitch ability, you can actually start to have memberships and stuff over there. She's going to try to monetize on that side. She also has her Ko-fi where you can donate on her channel, and she also has the Throne where you can buy the peeing bears that Stunning wants to see built. So Stunning, you ought to buy the first one and let everybody buy others after that, and then we'll go. So, but hey, folks, you know, if you don't, you know, I love y'all having y'all here, and you know, and Mrs. got her opportunities out there, and I'll try to share more about that in a little bit. But we had Manos Hands of Fate, Birdemic, Perch, Shock and Terror. Okay, this is where I first got into it, and this is where I really felt old today. August 15th of 2013. I did not realize this was over 10 years ago. And see, they did it again in 2020 when they did a re-release in the theater to kind of do something. It was not the same in the repeat as the live show. You know, it loses something, but they did it. So this one, they didn't have a short. It was just a movie. It was incredibly funny. My first experience with it. Then they had the original Night of the Living Dead, but of course they had these shorts. You know, that was a shorter movie, so they end up filling 10, 15, 20 minutes in with a short. Norman gives a speech. I remember that they picked on Norman so badly. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, which is another one of the old ones that they back from the MST3K days that they brought in, and then of course the first one of the Sharknado movies.
But also with Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, Cinematic Titanic did that before Riff Tracks did. So there are three of the Riff companies based off MST3K did that, and maybe more. I'm not sure, but I know of three. Yep. And Sharknado was just born to be riffed. It really was. But it is a little bit putting a hat on a hat, as I said before. But
it was one of those where it worked, where we talked about like Galaxy Quest, where it may not have worked. Galaxy Quest was also a serious movie in a way, but Certain Hay was just so off the rails that it's like piling on.
Yeah.
It's like feeding friends. It's like, here, let's all pile on this one. Let's tell our jokes of how, because it's not taking itself seriously and it's bad. So, gosh, there's especially when they had one politicians in it. That was a funny one. I think that might have been 3 or 4. I don't know, but it was crazy. Then they did Godzilla, everybody's favorite Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
I hate that movie with a passion. I've never actually. The thing is, when they did just to. I mean, you probably don't know. I started watching it, right? And then I realized it was not the Riff Tracks guys. It was the British guys that they hire as addendum people. And no, I couldn't watch it. It was not the act. If it was Michael and Kevin and Bill, I would have watched it. Now there is another version that they did of that, but the one that you find most often are the other people they've brought in to sort of buck up the roster, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Looking through the rest of these, Anaconda, I remember seeing that one in the short Halloween party. I don't think we saw the next two. I think we missed Santa Claus in the Room. We got Sharknado 2, which had Why Do I Need Parents? That the second one. Miami Connection was one the kids, like my oldest kid, really was into wanting to see that one. We actually
I love that one.
We actually liked the movie as well as the riff on it. Max, okay. Yeah, we got to wrap up in a few minutes too, but yeah, we got to do stuff too. But hey, thanks for coming by, Max. Good to see you.
Thank you, Max.
And of course, Measuring Man was a short. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
Measuring Man. Oh,
I wanted to find the short. I wanted to find it because there were so many innuendos with that one that they didn't even have to say it. You know, it was that funny. They didn't even have to say what everybody was thinking.
Oh, and by the way, when Max says he's out, he's got to go do stuff and things means Scarlett Johansson. But no tails out of school, Max.
All right. That's okay. That could be, hey, not a bad thing to be doing right now. So Santa and Ice Cream Bunny was horrible because a daggum bunny look evil. God. What is with you old people in the 50s and 60s, your damn Easter bunnies? You know what I'm talking about, Hungry? All the you sit around Easter, you see the scary Easter pictures, and it's like old people, older than 50s, God, they're like psycho killer bunnies. It's like, damn, no wonder kids are screaming. Time Chasers, that was a bad movie. That was that. In a plane. I remember the plane. Yeah. So that and Chip the Fireman was in it. Then they had the reunion show in 2016. They did basically a bunch of shorts.
Mothra was great. Have you seen them do Mothra?
No, I don't. I think that's another one I missed. I think I missed that one. I think I missed Carnival of Souls. Because
these are old movies. This is the old movie thing. You're avoiding the old movie.
No. What happened a lot of times is I didn't have a smartphone back then and stuff like that. Oh,
okay.
And unless you were really looking for notifications or looking for it, I didn't get when they were going.
Okay.
And because they don't do it too often, and so unless you're looking to see what their schedule is, it's you can't find it. So the reunion had Bridget Nelson, Mary Jo Pehl, Trace Bigelow, Frank Conniff, Jonah Ray, and Joe Hodgson. Of course, that's including the 3 regulars. Because I remember Soapy the Germ Fighter and the Dirt Witch cleans up a Mask of Grass. So Samurai Cop had Samurai Cop. They had their own theme song with that one. Manners in School, remember that shorty. So then they had the Summer Shorts Beach Party. Can't remember that. The Doctor Who 5 Doctors, they riffed. And I did not see that one. I wish we had. Space Mutiny, like we talked about, like crazy, that used so freely the great footage from Battlestar Galactica. And hey, Eagle Rider!
Hello, Igor!
Good to see you today.
Good to see you, Igor.
Absolutely. They're just talking about some MST.
Oh, Octoman was live. And it was, well, I mean, maybe they did it not live. I saw the live one, and it was very hard to listen to. You have to adjust your EQ using VLC. But if you can adjust it so you can hear the jokes, it is one of their best. Octoman is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Eagle Rider, I bounce around. I mean, we're about to wrap up with this one now in the next few minutes to help the misses. But yeah, absolutely. Sometimes like this was a complete surprise stream. Hungry, like, hey, you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, and we had a special topic. But yeah, you send me an invite. Whenever I see you live, I try to bounce over. Maybe we can jump on your channel too if you're there. I'm just bouncing all around. Today's kind of a day where I had some available time and got influenced, and I'm still had to bounce for the missus so in a few minutes. But she's been moving the house around all on her own pretty good. Well, and said, hey, don't rush, but don't take 3 hours to wrap up either. So it's like that. So Space Mutiny was a Battlestar Galactica. So let me see if the picture.
Oh, here. And Fanty. There was the bad carrot joke, but
look, hungry.
Yeah, what?
Let me see.
What?
Let me bring this up.
What?
Folks, to show everybody here. Let me see if I can get.
I got to go full screen.
I'm trying to get it full screen.
There we go.
I'm trying to get it blown up here, so hopefully.
Yeah.
Look right there. You see the Cylon Raiders.
Yes. South Africa, we know what you did. We know what you did, South Africa. This is a South African film. That's why I'm making the joke. We know what you did. We know what you did.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Yeah, Eagle Rider. Yes, you can send me to that. I thought it was in it. Maybe I accidentally got kicked out or left it by accident. But yeah, send it to me again. I appreciate it.
But Dad, man, the thing about Space Mutiny, which was so funny and almost requires no ripping, it is not the Battlestar Galactica ripoffs. It is actually the hula hoop coochie dancing in the middle of the film.
Yeah. That is crazy. I forgot about that. But this is, look, the Battlestar Galactica, the Cylon Raiders, and folks, they literally every friggin' out space battle scene was taken from the Battlestar Galactica TV show. Even the Battlestar Galactica, even the Battlestar looked like the spaceship. They didn't even change that. The Vipers were there. As a kid, I used to do art with the Cylon Raiders. I would draw them and do the little things.
Oh yeah, I love those. Those are my favorite ships in Battlestar Galactica because they look like a cross between horseshoe crabs and a manta ray. They were a brilliant design. And again, as we talked about when we talked about Battlestar Galactica, they were designed by John Dykstra, who did a lot of the designs for a lot of the ships on the original 1977 Star Wars. Never a New Hope. It's always Star Wars.
Yes.
It came out in 77, and that's what was on the poster. But the thing that Phantom Outsider says regarding It Conquers the World and Crow saying bad carrot, yes, that was good, but the first joke he said, Fanty, the first joke he said is when we first see just the Venusian moving through the trees, and we see a little bit of it, and Crow just says, oh my god, it's a giant Vlasic pickle. And that killed me. I just died laughing. Died laughing.
Crow, that's why you love Crow. Yeah. All right. So we got 9 people still here with us. We're in it. Kroll is, I remember that was probably, I don't know that we saw Octoman though.
Octoman is good. I mean, later on, if you want me to send you some links to some places that are a little bit Blackbeard the Pirate, then I can do that. But
I'm just trying to remember if I saw it. I mean, Octoman. We might have seen that one. We might have seen.
It's a very cheesy 1970s film.
I'm just trying to figure out The Adventures of Saber Rain. I'm not sure. These last two, I think we might have seen Octoman with them riffed it. So Kroll, I remember because it's famous. Kroll's famous. So.
And you would have seen it when you were young, just like I did in the theater, right?
And I didn't see Kroll in the theater.
What?
Listen, my parents did not go to movies. They didn't.
Okay.
They didn't. Right. I mean, they went one time to see God Awful Joe versus the Volcano with some friends that went. You got to see that piece of shit, but But I will say, yeah, I know it's crazy. But I will say though, they did take me to one movie, and how the hell I even heard about Star Wars, I don't friggin' know. I don't know unless it's because I was obsessed with. We didn't have TV really back then, and I saw the robots, the droids, and the stuff in the newspaper. I don't remember how I got into Star Wars, but I remember staring the ink off those newspapers, and that movie with Star Wars was, and maybe that's sometimes why I'm passionate about.
No, you got to repeat that. You got to repeat that. That is, I'm gonna quote you, but use it. But I'll quote you.
What?
Staring the ink off the newspapers.
Yeah.
That is a great line.
Because that's all we had back then. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't have the internet. We couldn't go look at images. There was not marketing out there. There were not books and stuff. So, unlike some dingbat says in the 2020s that we didn't have, or 2010s that we don't have source information. I did, and I do not remember how I got into that. I don't remember hearing about the news. I just don't remember. But I do know this: it's the only movie that I watched with my dad's parents, my grandparents, and my parents together. And that will always stay special to me.
That's
because
wonderful.
my grandparents, to me, I'm telling you, people are not kidding. And I know I've said before, they were real life R2D2 and C3PO.
Oh, okay.
She's the don't do that, scattered like nervous C3PO, and he started. I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, I don't care. I blew up everything else, but I'm just going to do it. R2D2, and it was just so that's a wonderful memory I have with that movie. But I don't know how I got off on that.
No. I mean, I can relate. I can relate to that, and then we'll move on to something else. But one of my favorite memories is actually seeing The Empire Strikes Back with my nana, my mother's mother, and she was the only one willing to go and see it. And later on, we all saw it together after Nana and I came back and said, and she was in her late 60s at this point. And she said, "Oh, I don't understand science fiction, but it's a wonderful movie. You should really give it a chance."
Right.
And it was a wonderful movie.
Well, see,
now,
I'm sorry, go ahead. Well, I say that about everything in life. You've heard me going around.
Oh, dear. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Oh, no. I was not prepared for that. Okay, so let's just keep talking about Empire Strikes Back and how, see, that would not be a film to be riffed. That would not be, I mean, okay, if Squeak is still listening and lurking, that might be something that Master Pancake could do, but I don't think that's something that Riff Tracks, I mean, they probably have done it. I'd have to look at their list.
I don't, with the internet.
Oh, thank God. I didn't want to finish the point I was making. Keep going.
But the whole thing was I'm passionate about my sports ball, but I go off into other communities, comics, sci-fi, all this other stuff, kind of like learning from all you other guys and stuff. And I'm like, dang it, you got to stick with me. You'll learn to enjoy some sports ball for nerdiness, geekness, or whatever else you want to find. You can find it if you just want to get there, and it's just taking the journey. I love hanging out with people that are different interests, and I find that I learn a lot of stuff that I didn't know that I take for granted. So I think it's also cool. So I love hearing that story about if I may not understand it, but I'm going to do it with you, and that's what I try to do with everybody. It's like, hey, let me learn from you. Let me see what's kind of cool. It's like you guys overseas. I love the Europeans and the Australians and we've got people that watch us from South Africa. If it was all American, then it would be really boring.
I mean, I and a lot of my friends were very serious sci-fi, fantasy, horror guys, right?
Yeah.
And then my Nana said, well, a lot of those stories are constructed a certain way. Maybe it's the way you like the stories being constructed. And she said, why don't you try some Hercule Poirot? And there wasn't a lot of Hercule Poirot back then, but there was a little bit. And one of them was played by Peter Ustinov, and the other one was played by an Irish actor. Hold on, let me just look this up right now. Murder on the Orient.
Well, you're looking at Snort Poopa said, I think he's referring to the Cylon the Cylon
Albert.
As they looked a little bit like the Martian machines in the 1950 War of the Worlds. Yeah, they did with that little angle.
They did very much did, absolutely. But the Albert Finney played Hercule Poirot in 1974, even though the film was being made in 1973. And I absolutely love that. So there's that interchange between people who love certain genres, but it's a lot about the point of view that is being used to make that genre stuff. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean, I had before we did the Police Academy review and critique, I had not
Mhm.
thought about that film until you had actually brought that up in a DM, and I said,
Hmm.
"Oh my God, yeah, I'd be happy to do a show on that."
All right. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and you brought it up, and it is a brilliant piece of filmmaking, but it has elements of Star Wars in it.
Yep.
Very much. It has elements of other things that sci-fi people would like, and a lot of sci-fi people think, "Oh no, it's a comedy and it's about cops. I'm not going to be interested." But if they give it just 10 minutes, just
Yeah.
watch the movie for 10 minutes, you might actually enjoy what's going
Well,
on.
and that's what I say with sports ball and a lot of the other things. Like, you give it 2 minutes, 10 minutes, you might find it interesting. Like we had the talk with Culture Casino a few weeks ago. We went
Mm.
sports ball. It was about the business side of it,
Mm.
how the game's changing. And we went beyond the field. I mean, dollars, cents,
Mm.
the policies and stuff. And it just really was really a fascinating conversation. So, I mean, and it's like everything. If you go in and just say it's gone, I won't listen, then you're never going to expand your horizons and you're never going to bring people to your base. If
Right.
you want to grow your community, if you want to grow away, especially if you want to keep the old style alive, you don't go attacking everybody and just pontificating all the time. I mean, you need to have a conversation with them, bring them in, tell them why this matters, tell them why this is good, tell them why that's may not be so good, but give them grace to if they like some of the newer stuff. Give them the room. Watch how you present it. Like my wife told me many, many years ago.
Yeah.
You may win the argument. You may be factually correct, but people will tune you out. So be nice. Put some. I agree with you because there's a lot of Star Wars. That what I'm.
And a lot of Star Trek and a lot of Doctor Who,
like,
to be fair.
But if you engage the people and just tell them this is why we're so passionate about it, they might listen. They might start to understand longer. But see, to them, they're coming up a different time, different group. They have a different frame of reference. So they may be more willing to take it because they're not as ingrained in what has been going on.
And you can say, to agree with you, I want to disagree, but I'm going to agree. Okay, right. I want to disagree, but I'm going to agree.
Right.
You have people who were becoming fashion designers around 1992. Now, in 1990, they would have made fun of the 1970s clothes. But as you remember, because you and I are of a same age, like Mark and Steve, otherwise known as Thor, Maddie's daddy, we remember when the 70s clothes made a massive comeback around 1994. So somebody or some buddies, plural, went back and listened to some of us saying, you might want to look at some of these fashion designs. And they became a huge thing for 2 years. And then that's actually long for the fashion industry. Then for 2 years, they existed, and then it went bye-bye again. And then later on, people who were making fun of the 80s, they brought back the 80s fashion. And now they're bringing back the 90s fashion, which was the 70s fashion. And it all depends on, as you were saying, a relatively, I stress relatively, open mind. Not an entirely open mind,
right?
Because then you're just going to like everything and be critical of nothing.
Right. No, and I'm not, and I always, me, I never say don't be critical. Don't look at things critically. Always look at things critically. My point is always been is how you engage, how you talk to people. And that was one of the best lessons that the missus taught me early on in our marriage, because, and especially when it's politics, but, it's just, but even about anything, now, of course I go about Darth Maul. I'm passionate about it, but people do understand. I mean, I just still, allow me a few issues to rant on and I'll be okay.
Exactly. And that actually brings up, because you were asking about favorite jokes, that brings up one of my favorite jokes. I can't remember which episode, where it's about marriage. This may have been in The Leech Woman, I'm not sure, but one of the characters, and again, it's been over 15 years since I've seen it, says, yes, win the battle but lose the war. And that's what marriage teaches you.
Yep. Well, hey, Phantom Outsider did say they actually did all of them, Phantom Menace, Attack of Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. They had, I guess, Chad Vader is supposedly Darth's younger brother, and they played the death scene. The death scene would have been in, okay. No, never mind. I'm right. Yeah, that was Pat Shmi's death scene and that. Never knew how mom died. Yeah, exactly. I remember that. So,
You know, at this
Darth Maul
point,
order when he goes to the bar? A half
don't
pint.
tell me.
A half pint.
Oh no, that's awful.
Good job, son Dunning.
That's awful.
I don't know how he keeps it down. It'll just go right out the bottom of him, you know.
Okay, so at this point, should we just switch to Star Wars stuff because we talked about all the
we
stuff?
We need to start wrap up, but let me hit the last few of these here. Octoman Star Raiders, then the break of the Giant Spider Invasion. I wish I'd have seen that. That would be a fun one to work with some of our Spider fans out there.
Okay, so that actually is one that is funnier if you've seen the film beforehand and you were thinking, my God, this is horrible but fascinating, and then you see people make fun of it.
Right. Hobgoblins was the one that they could not say. That was just low budget, was like low everything. That just was so bad that they couldn't save the damn movie. So
there's actually a phrase in the riff comedy circles called budget limit. And you have a budget limit. I mean, if something is so low budget that you can't handle it, you're not even hearing the jokes, are you?
No, I don't think so. We got an Amity like 403. Why do we need another Amityville?
Oh, not that one. Oh, yeah. That was awful.
The Return of Swamp Thing.
That was great.
That's like I said, I do not believe we saw that one though.
That's another one you have to see the film first to get the jokes.
This is what bothers me. There were 2 in 21, and then there's only 1 in 22, and there's only 1 in 23. I don't understand why they're slowing down, because it's like I like to have 2 to 3 per year because this is a great theatrical experience. But Rad, it's one that we saw. Lori Loughlin was in this movie. And Talia Shire, they had such a few good lines with Talia Shire about her son wanting to quit, wanted to bike race for money instead of going to college and taking this test because of the day of the race was the test. But Lori Loughlin, they sure as hell tied in that Talia Shire's son needing to go to college and take the college entrance stuff with Lori Loughlin and the news that was centering on Lori Loughlin.
You know what? Here's a joke. Here's a joke.
Bart Connor was in it. The gymnast Bart Connor was in this movie.
I could not laugh at any of the Talia Shire jokes because when I was a kid and I saw Rocky, I had the biggest crush on her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got you.
It's like you and Dina from, so many jokes, so many women, so little time. But
yes.
I mean, there are, I mean, it's like Madame Cabot, who played the lead actress in The Wasp Woman, which was handled by both Riff Tracks and Cinematic Titanic. She had a very tragic life. She did very well for a while, and she was an incredibly beautiful woman. So I had a hard time enjoying the jokes at her expense, but for the rest of the characters in The Wasp Woman, I greatly enjoyed it, but sometimes I get a little overly sensitive to things, and I admit that.
Right.
I admit it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see. And I well, that's why I felt so damn bad when they said diabetes and Wilford Brimley was there. Like, I shouldn't be laughing about that.
I know.
I shouldn't be laughing about that, but I'm like, the worst part was I had damn Coke in my mouth, Coca-Cola in my mouth. It was like,
I know. It's like a triple joke for you.
It hurt. I'm telling you, it hurt. It hurt. That was probably one of the most painful things I have ever had.
And you spit up on your own progeny.
It was better than some strangers ahead of me. Imagine that. I mean, I'd rather spit on the kid. Hey, they can deal with it. They can yell all they want to. I'll leave their ass back at the theater if they didn't like it. But complete strangers, yeah, I was like, hell no, we're not going to do that. And hello, William Afton.
Hey, William Afton. Hey. And Afton was here for the Friday Night at Freddy's stream.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, welcome again. Good to see you again. So let's see.
Okay, the coffee is kicking in. You say something. I'll be right back.
Yeah, the missus is okay. I'm going to wait for the call. 520. Thank you, William Afton. I know who my first sub is. I know who my 100 sub is, and I know now who the 520th sub is. William Afton, congratulations! You have got me my universe in order and balance because I'm at a nice round number. So, thank you for that. Wait till Hungry gets back for that. And as I've also said, please make sure that y'all subscribe to my wife's channel also. Mrs. Dadman Walking 55. I'm just going to plug the link back in here again real quick. So, thank you again for William Afton. Come out and enjoy your participation in our discussion the other night on Five Nights at Freddy's. Folks, you can go watch the show on our channel and see if you've seen the movie. Tell us what you think about it. Leave comments and share out the video too. And let's see it.
I'm back.
Hey, I was saying that William Afton just balanced my life out. Now I got that nice rounded number.
See, that's again, I love the fact that we're friends because we're opposites in so many ways. I actually prefer non-round numbers. I like 33. I like 41. I like numbers like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't. They drive me crazy. I got to get to the 5 or the 0.
No, 5. Now 5 is a very magical number, especially in things like Taro, otherwise known as Tarot.
25, 50, 75. So
5 is like a halfway point between an even and odd number because it multiplies and divides so cleanly.
Yeah, exactly. So, but so I'm just sitting here looking at things too. So it says we got 8 watching, 16 likes. Thank y'all, everybody. Thank you for the new sub, William Afton. Appreciate it. And everybody at the Snore Poopus likes numbers divisible by 7.
Oh, so do I.
Oh, you love football then. 7, 14, 21. Except these damn coaches insist on going for 2 at the beginning of a game now. So, but that's a different topic. So we are now at 6:18. Let's go ahead and start to wrap up. Any last thoughts though? I mean, the miss has been great patient. I know she needed a rest though, and I'll see about being available to help her. I mean, I don't know that I'll go live again tonight, but I will preview tomorrow night just a minute. But Hungry Boy, you want to finish up some thoughts here about MST3K, the Rift Tracks? Any other things that we may not have hit that you wanted to?
Okay, so the one thing I will say that I did not bring up before is that this kind of comedy was actually done 8 months to a year in Australia before Joel Hodgson, creator of MST3K, decided to do it. And that was when, and I was here, I was actually in the theater when it happened. You'd have a live theater, a small cinematic theater, and you'd be showing a cheesy movie you could get the rights to, and you would have a bunch of people with bags over their heads, so you didn't know what their names were, who actually were professional comedians trying to save their reputation by putting the bags over their heads, using dynamic microphones to make fun of the movie as it was progressing. And it was a live version. So that was existing before MST3K in America did. But before that, there was a similar version that didn't last very long. It only lasted about 5 episodes, and I can't remember the name. That was in local Los Angeles television.
There's some about local TV
80s.
programming. Comic Relief Crusader, we are probably in our last 10 to 20 minutes. We're wrapping up, but you're not too late. If you have any memories, MST3K, or whatever, feel free to shout it out there. Whitehead. Sorry, Hungry. I just wanted to let him know about that.
Oh, no, I was totally done. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, we used to have like late night car commercials with the rap music, the fog machines, the bling, all the strobing lights. We also had like local wrestling promos and shows and stuff. It was like, God, the beauty of
late night cable television.
Late night cable television. Yes, exactly. That is exactly true, because it's like crazy. It's like, it's where you went to really have a good time and stuff.
Well, I mean, that was also, there was, in late night cable television, there was a lot of implied sexuality versus being sexual, like Rhonda Shear in the show called Up All Night on the USA television network. And she implied a lot of stuff, but she actually never showed very much skin at all. And the thing was with MST3K and Riff Tracks and the other shows, you really can't go there. So it was a choice of either or. You went one way or the other. And I'm glad that both forms of comedy existed. Both.
Right. Absolutely. So it's definitely a good thing. Had a great time today. I was just giving Comic Relief a chance to, if he had any comments before we close. So, but yeah, it's like I said, though, I really like the live events. To me, it brought it to life. It brought back the memories of what it was. But there's just something, like I said, about that 70s studio audience type of mentality. It's just that that hearing other people laughing or reacting just does something to you.
Yes, I agree completely. And that's why I think that Riff Tracks, who did do Ice Cream Man, they should have done it live. They should have done it live, but it's a little, as a horror film, it's a little dicey. There are certain things that there are decapitated heads, and you can't really do that live because people are bringing their kids to the theater. And so it sounded like I was making a joke, but I'm actually not making a joke. There are some films you cannot do live unless you're going to cut out something, and it's certain scenes in a film, if you cut them out, the rest of the movie doesn't make sense. It's like the Lego thing with the missus. You take out two pieces, it ain't going to work.
No, I know. But hey, yeah, it's been fun. So I will say, but Hungry, I appreciate you wanting to do this. So
my pleasure. And I'm so glad that we had this many people coming up, and it went 2:34, which is more than an hour and 50 minutes than we thought it was going to be.
Oh, I know. And she's been so patient, and she's like, and it's not like she's waiting around on me. She just, like she got stuff done and strategic things. I like that kind of work. I like being the hired hand. Just tell me what to do. Let me show up, and let me do it. I hate standing around. I hate little. I did that piddly work. That's like, so over here I got crap I got to clean up now because I had to stop at the middle of shredding stuff up. So, but I'll get back to that too. Well, glad to have you come in, Comic Relief Crusader. I know I saw you at the Misses earlier. So let's go ahead and on the outros, let's go ahead and promote the Misses again. The link's been in the chat a couple times. Please make sure go subscribe to her channel. Hold on, I got to bring it up. Sorry, hit the wrong button. It's Mrs. Dadman Walking 55 on YouTube. As you can see, she's got planned streams coming up for Morning Musings with Mrs. Dadman Walking 55. Come over for a bit of positivity and happiness and just looking at some stuff. Tomorrow's show will be a little bit different because they will not have the graphics and stuff at this point, but there'll still be there some things to do and just chat, because I tell you, it was a big show today. Had a lot of people come in. So please, it's not the same without you. So we're wrapping up now, and I'm promoting the Mrs. channel right now. And also she did the build today, the block party with a Park Ranger vehicle. It went under 3 hours. So Mrs. is here right here. So I'm promoting your channel as I'm wrapping up. So, hey, and it was great shows today. You guys in the chat were on fire and amazing. Thank you all for what you do. And you're up to 93 subs.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So thank you all. Appreciate that. With that, I'm going to then say here, my promotion tomorrow night, 8:00 p.m., the 500 subscriber celebration. I waited, it seemed like a month, because you never know what happens with algorithms. As we saw today, somebody had subbed to the Mrs. channel, found out they're unsubbed. So go check your subs, either on her channel, my channel. Thank you, William Atton, for getting me to 520 now. Appreciate it. So y'all always make sure that whatever content creator you have, make sure you're always subscribed, and make sure you're signed for the notifications too. But join us tomorrow night for a special event tomorrow night with some guests and looking back at the channel, especially if you're newer. It'll be interesting. We were at 100 before December 31 last year. We had our 100 celebration in February, and now we're at 520. It's just amazing. Time flies, and you guys make this all possible, and y'all make this fun. with that, let's see. Chill chats like we did today could come up impromptu. This is impromptu of impromptus. Fortnite can be impromptu streams. Next few weeks, a lot of them will be more impromptu streams. A lot of gaming and stuff like that. Late night, this is squirrel chasing for me. When I want to stay up late, but eventually the body catches up and needs sleep. I hate this stupid thing. Does it? To see live streams and videos, do it all the time on this one. YouTube.com, Twitch.tv is at DadmanWalking55 on both. Follow me on Twitter at DadmanWalking55 also, because that, even if your notifications will not work on the YouTube or Twitch, I always try to tweet out when I go live. So if you follow me on Twitter, you should see it there if you get your notification. Squirrel, exactly with that. All right, Hungry Boy, any last thoughts?
Don't forget the fact that we're going to be talking about Buck next week. We're coming back to Buck.
Oh, yeah. This is Friday night. This Friday night, we'll be back to Buck Rogers on the 8th. All right. Thank you for that reminder. I need to get that in my slot of screens. We've taken a couple weeks off. So thank you, Hungry Boy, for that reminder. On that note, thank you, everybody, for a fun 2.5 hour stream that came out of nowhere. And
that was supposed to be 45 minutes.
Well, I will tell you, it's only not 45 minutes because of the great and gracious missus who kept things going and strategically needed me. And now I need to go help again. And you guys, thank you. Hungry, thank you. And everybody, y'all have a great night.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you later. Bye, all.
Nighty-o.